And we are back. You see it. Let's go, baby. We're back with the NBA wrap up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Here we go again, folks. Here we go again. As you can see, I'm here. I'm your man, Ron. That's my brother, John. And we got our special guest here in the building with us today. His name is Mr. Mike Blayz. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. What you guys said? Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Appreciate
yeah,
you.
they just wanted to clap it up for you a little bit.
Appreciate that, brother.
All right.
Three capital last S's, like the homie would say if he was here. You know,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, we thank you. We thank you for being here. We appreciate you. This is going to be a fun show. We're going to talk about a couple different things, NBA related. We'll get into some hip hop stuff. So overall, it should be a really fun, exciting conversation. And we'll also be able to hear a little music as well. So listen, I'm ready. And also, I want to give people a heads up that might be tuned in. You know, get your fill of this show, man. Replay gang, watch this show. Next week is Thanksgiving, so I wouldn't expect one on Thursday. So enjoy this one. Yeah, man. John, do you want to kick it off? You want to?
Yeah. So let's get going. I just wanted to, please introduce yourself to our audience and let us know a little bit about who you are, what city you represent, and how, just give everybody a quick background about your story.
Man, Mike Blayz, producer, songwriter, engineer, philanthropist, all things music and entertainment. Hailing from North Carolina, been in the business since probably about 1991, 2, the present day. Grew up in a music household, man. It's real. Everybody asks me, what's your story? I woke up to music. It wasn't real hard to me. I never looked at music as something that I aspired to do. It was just a part of who I was. My pops was he conducted rehearsals and band and choir rehearsals right in the crib. So it was just trickled over, man. Just trickled over, and I didn't even I didn't ask for it. It wasn't something that I set out to do. I literally was raised in that environment and became a product of it. Simple as that.
Nice. Well, just a little bit about our show. What we like to do is we like to break our show into two halves, right? And our first half, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA. Did you follow the NBA growing up as a kid?
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, who wasn't a Jordan, Kareem, Dr. J, the whole. Now I think I was I definitely was. My pops was a strong. He was a strong Dr. J fan, Julius Erving fan. So
right.
Sixers, and he liked the Lakers. Lakers too. Of course, when Jordan hit the scene in my era, it was a wrap. Being from North Carolina, it was. What I'm saying? It was really a wrap. Plus, my family, Phil Ford is a family friend. So UNC was always I've been a Tar Heel forever.
Wow. And that talk about a legacy. Like UNC has a tremendous legacy with basketball, just in general, the talent that's come out of UNC.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, when I came, coming to the Raleigh-Durham area, I moved to Durham first. So being a Tar Heel fan in Durham was just it was the worst thing ever. Like you don't even
what's that side mostly?
Well, see, so the UNC, that's Chapel Hill. So
Right.
Durham is Duke.
Duke, gotcha.
Oh yeah, so that's probably the biggest North Carolina
love that
rivalry.
area.
Oh yeah, man, that's probably the biggest. That's probably the biggest college, one of the biggest college basketball rivalries. Period.
Right.
But this area, it's Tar Heel Duke. I mean, it's it's definitely divided and definitely very very they go in. It's big business. It's big business out here.
Right.
I almost got kicked out of Durham being from Durham. I mean, in Durham, I'm talking about I was a Tar Heel. It was tough.
Wow.
It was tough. Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, they don't fool around. They take it real serious over there. I know.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up during the Leighton Bobby Hurley era, and they were going against like Shamon Williams and a few other guys back in those days. I think, Vince was a little later on, wasn't he? I think Vince came a little later when he was in UNC, but that was after the Leitner and all of those guys made it through. But I grew up watching it during that time. Stackhouse, right?
My
Jerry
favorite.
Stack was crazy. Yeah. And so anyone any particular team in the NBA that you used to follow growing up?
Oh yeah. Like I said, my pops was a Julius Erving fan. So
right, it's the Sixers
the Sixers. So, but I love I love the Lakers, and love the that it was something about that Lakers and that Lakers down in Lakers Celtics, and Pistons. They were just exciting to watch. Those rivalries. Then I just remember it being big business in the house watching this, watching them play literally anybody. You know what I'm saying? Especially Pistons, Sixers. So that was always some electricity in the house. Like I said, when it was not coming up.
And so we're talking like 80s NBA. We're talking Magic versus Bird and Isaiah Thomas. Is that what we're talking? Okay. I just want to give people sort of a glimpse of what what bracket or years we're talking about. Those are legendary years, man. Those are legendary
people don't
years.
understand, man. I never forget. When I was young, I didn't know too much about basketball. I started watching the Knicks late in the late 80s. Same time I got into baseball, like around 86, 87, 88 when I got into the Giants. So all around that same time, right? But I remember I used to always see like older people, who were into basketball walking around with these Lakers versus Celtics shirts and all the championship trophies, and I'm like, golly, I didn't understand it at the time, but now looking back, I'm like, geez, it was crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I can recall all of the commercials. Remember, they had the Bird and Magic commercials where they were, I forget they were battled. You remember they were shoot against each other. They were playing horse against each other. I remember that commercial.
Oh man, and it was like the whole. It was. It's funny that you brought that. I haven't seen that in years. The horse commercial. It was so crazy because they would start like early in the daytime and the sun would go down and they'd still be shooting. I'm like,
then they started throwing it off like the balcony and all of that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
And then they had all the Converse commercials back in the early 80s.
Those man, listen, you know what? Those are all those shoe commercials. But I don't think it's any dispute that once Jordan came in the league, things changed. Like it became way more, you know what I'm saying? Like sponsorships was crazy. It just got way more visually active when it came to, you know what I'm saying, repping a brand, for brand management, and brand. What he did for brand advertising for the NBA of the players, man. I think that was definitely a turning point, for being able to really solidify some real situations when it came to, being sponsored by a brand.
Yeah. There's a reason why all the NBA is making the type of money it's making today,
Right.
and as due in part with Magic and Bird starting the rivalry and and placing a name to the game. But then when Michael Jordan sort of the pinnacle,
Right.
that shift in the marketing of it all, right? It became more of a worldwide game because now you were reaching more than just the states. You were reaching different. You were passing the borders. You were reaching other countries and stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So Ron, do you want to
100%.
go into that first? I think it's time for us to go to the
Yeah,
first
man. Let's
half
let's
of our game,
let's
man.
let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. Oh, but also I want to say a quick shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys for
Oh yeah,
tuning
let's do
in.
that.
Thank you for rocking with us, and our special guest Mike Blayz in the building. Shout out to none other than the one and only Mr. J-Boogie himself. He says, my producer, a legend in this game who has produced many tracks in the industry that y'all have heard and don't know he's done, is in the building tonight. If you are an artist, you should be tuned in. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's for my man J-Boogie.
Salute. Yes, sir.
That's right, y'all. If y'all haven't understood, Mike Blayz, this is J-Boogie. If y'all know our community, you know who J-Boogie is, and this is J-Boogie's go-to guy, his producer. So, definitely dope to have him here. Shout out to David L, King Ja, Daniel Berry Sports, HP Carlos, appreciate you. Samuel Cortez, my guy Mega NYK in the building, and obviously those who are tuned in watching that may not be in the chat, we appreciate all y'all. So yeah, man, let's get it cracking. You know how we like to do it. We like to get into the first half of the show and then into the second half. But before we go there, let me hit you with a quick did you know. This is a real quick one. I don't know if anybody knew this. I don't know. I didn't know this one. Yeah. So yeah, man. Who knew? Apparently, the best of both worlds was supposed to be R. Kelly and Tupac. I don't know how that would have went down, but
You know what?
okay.
You know what I want to say? I heard that too. I can't. I think
Did you?
I heard that too.
That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know how I would have rocked out with that. It's a different vibe. I mean, I'm sure R. Kelly could have made anything work. His musical prowess. He's a genius on that end. So I'm sure he could have figured it out.
You know what?
But just look.
I honestly believe it may have been even bigger with Tupac because
it's a possibility. Yeah. Because even though, I mean, we like to talk about it. Listen, Jay-Z is huge. I mean, and at that time that this was actually taking place, he was still growing, but he hadn't reached the heights that he's at now.
Right.
So Tupac might have been the bigger artist.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah,
Tupac.
he might have been the bigger artist. So that's
definitely,
interesting.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go, guys. First half of the show. Yes. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the NBA right now. It's like where to start. Like some of the stuff doesn't make any sense to me. Others, it's interesting because we'll get into it. But there was something that John and I talked about a long time ago when the show had a different name. It was a different show, and it looks like that stuff has finally come back to roost for the people involved, and it's crazy, man. But we'll get into it in a little bit. But I thought that I fell off the radar with that, but it's back. But anyway, all right, we'll start off with this one because this is what everybody's talking about these days. Draymond Green gets suspended for 5 games. Now, there's some passionate people about this situation. Some people are like, you know what, 5 games, that's it. So, people are not having it with Draymond right now. I don't know if you saw what happened, Mike, but something happened in the game between the Warriors and Minnesota.
Klay Thompson.
It was Klay Thompson and what's his name?
It's a young man.
Jalen. What's his last name? I don't know. Jalen something.
Jalen Jackson?
That's
Jalen Jordan? Something. I don't know. I forget his name too.
Jalen McDaniels, something. I don't
Yeah,
know. Something
Jalen.
like that.
It might be McDaniels.
Yeah, something like that. It's Jalen something. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. We'll get it together. They got into like the weirdest tussle. Okay, they just kind of got linked up, running up the court, right? And so the Jalen guy from Minnesota twisted Klay Thompson around a little bit. And so Klay Thompson is one of those you do it to me, I do it to you type guys. So all he did was twist them around back the other direction. For whatever reason, Jalen did not take kindly to that. And it kind of got a little physical. But what made it worse
is it Jalen Noel? Jalen
No.
Noel. No, not him.
No, that's not it.
What is his name?
I'm gonna have to figure this out, folks. Sorry, I gotta get it now. Now that
we're gonna have to, you know.
I'll tell you right now. It is Jaden McDaniels.
Oh, Jaden McDaniels, not Jalen. Okay.
Jaden McDaniels, not Jalen. Jaden McDaniels.
Let me be clear. That's the infamous headlock video we seeing all over.
Yeah.
Correct. All right. Yes. So Rudy Gobert came in, and at first, when you see it, if you just look real quick and weren't paying attention, you think Rudy Gobert kind of antagonized it a little bit by coming in and putting his arms around Klay Thompson, like if he had him in a headlock. But looking at the video closer, you see that that's not the case. Rudy Gobert came in, put his arms around Klay Thompson, but like around his chest to try to stop him from doing anything. He wasn't up around the throat. He's got big arms, but he was just trying to stop him from doing anything. Now, Draymond Green is not necessarily from the angle. He's coming from behind, so he don't see that. He just sees Rudy Gobert's got his big arms around his boy, and he comes in and he yokes him up. And it's a whole nother story once he gets involved. I mean, he was yoking him up like he's going down.
He looked like he drug him up. If it was football, he'd have dragged him like 4 yards or something.
Yeah. I was like, what? So he got a 5-game suspension. Knicks 100 says 5 games ain't enough. I hear you. I saw earlier David L said he should have been gone 28 games. I'm like, people are just not too happy with the suspension. I guess. Sometimes you kind of get tired of the antics. Do you like to have an enforcer on your team that sticks up for your guys? Yes. But even the enforcer has to have some level of restraint. What do you think about that, Mike? Because being that you grew up watching, basketball, and I would say, like, to me, that's its heyday. Like, that's the era. I thought, I think that was the era, right? But it was also a physical era. So you've seen some stuff too. What do you think about the whole idea of this guy technically trying to protect his teammate, but he went a little too far? What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, what's crazy is I asked one of my partners. He's deep into basketball, and what he was telling me was, he said, "Oh yeah, that's your man. He just cuts up like that. The man just cuts up like that." So it goes back to what he was saying about sometimes you just got to get tired of the antics, So I'm definitely familiar with who he is, but his antics, because I don't really watch like that. So, but I would say if he's continuously, for me, it was definitely overkill. He kind of drug him a little bit, but I don't see, does the punishment fit the crime? If it's his first time, does that happen? I guess that's what I'm saying. If he's not who he is, does he really still get that hefty a fine?
I would say that, I would say, just to let you know, 5 games is pretty standard for something like that.
Really?
Like, that's kind of slap. It's kind of like a slap on the wrist kind of thing. When you do something bad, you get the 10 games, 15 games. If you do something really bad, you might get 25 games. Right. You'd have to do something crazy to get like suspended for the season or something like that. They don't even tell you how many games. They just say indefinitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess if that's the case, then you know, it's definitely warranted, especially for somebody who seems to have repeated antics like this. What I'm understanding, like he's no stranger to the scuffle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Definitely
And
isn't.
what's your thoughts on it, John? Because I'll say my thoughts because my thoughts are a little biased, not because of
Yeah.
Draymond.
No, I mean, I find it interesting that like the way the game has been changing and the way they're talking about, like, for instance, we just finished talking about I think a week ago about Giannis getting kicked out of the game because of staring at someone. Now you got
Mm-hmm.
this happening, and this is more of a physical altercation. However, it also seemed to me when because I was actually watching the game, where Rudy Gobert was really like acting it out, right? So he was also
Right?
like,
Yeah. He
yeah,
was going. He definitely gets his award for.
Hamming it up a little.
yeah, yeah. It was like it was
Yeah,
almost looking like a
his
wrestling
face was like, what's going on? Yeah,
like a wrestling match, right? Like it looked like a
that's what
WWE
caught
match.
me over everything. It was just like the man looked like he feared for his life.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And
Right.
then
Right.
he
Right.
was acting as if he couldn't actually gain his composure or whatever. He was like almost going with the flow, like really enticing the referees to make it a bigger thing than it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's partly why the fine isn't as significant as people may want it to be, because it wasn't like he was putting or hurting on anyone. It wasn't like he put the chokehold, you know, it wasn't like he locked it in really tight. You know what I mean? Rudy was acting it a little bit. So I think it was warranted. I think Draymond needs to be that for that team, because there's no one on that team who will defend the players on that team. Like you would never see Steph Curry or a Andrew Wiggins, jump into action if it got into a physical altercation. Like those guys are just not
Oh,
built that way.
oh yeah. You
You know what I
take
mean?
you take Draymond off that team. That team is super soft.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. You know what I
They
mean? So
strumming. Yeah.
right. I think actually the one who isn't, like, I think Thompson gets down a little bit.
I think
You know what I
Clay
mean?
is the one who gets down a little bit. It's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's why he.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
outside of that, there isn't that many other people who are gonna really jump. They're really not about that. So it was it's interesting, but I think the 5 game suspension is warranted. I don't necessarily think it needed to be more than that. I think if it's a punch, right? If it's a physical like attack on someone that's more like an intentional versus a grab, then I would say,
Mm-hmm.
you can warrant a 25 to 50 game suspension. I think the last suspension that I could recall was that Melo, when Melo punched Collins in the face. You remember when that altercation happened with Denver, New York against Denver, which was a cheap
Yeah.
shot, by the way. But you
Yes, it
know,
was.
either way, like that was a warranted 50 game suspension, or 50, whatever,
Yeah.
how many games it was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that excuse me, that makes sense because uh, I okay. So real quick, I'm just gonna say I think maybe if before they handed down the suspension, obviously the refs, they looked at it from every different angle, and I think this is my only thought, guys. I think because from where Draymond was coming from, the angle, I think they really thought that maybe he thought Rudy Gobert was choking up his teammate. And so he was just trying to defend his teammate and started choking, Gobert up. I just because when I saw it, just watching from where it came from, it looked like Draymond couldn't see when he was running. He couldn't see in
Mm-hmm.
front. So I think that's what they thought. And that's why they only gave him the 5 games. Now, that's aside. Was I mad that he was yoking up Rudy Gobert? No, I was happy. But I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I didn't mean that. It's not like I don't like Rudy Gobert or anything, but I don't. But I don't. So anyway, it couldn't have happened to a better guy. Okay, we're done. All right.
Okay.
I'm moving on. So Oh man, I can't
And
stand
listen,
when you go there.
I
I'm
just,
sorry.
like I said, the all seeing that video, his fearful antics was just that sold it to me. He was just, I was like, this guy's looking like, what is going on? Why is this man like? And he's dragging him a country mile while his face is looking like that. It was,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he
It's,
took him back a little
it,
more than I feel like he had to.
You
like I
know,
said, I've seen. No, I was gonna say I've seen other things that got me a little bit more upset. That didn't really
Oh,
bother me.
okay.
I was kind of
yeah,
tickled.
yeah.
I chuckled a little bit.
I was cracking up because I was like, yo, this reminds me of like a WWE match where like, I don't know, Triple H
Right,
holds Big Show, and the Big Show is
It
like,
was super
you
funny.
know what I mean? Like they're acting it out. It's like it was hilarious. It's
Yeah,
like, come on.
it was crazy. It was crazy. Salute to the chat once again. Appreciate you guys. Snipes Entertainment's in here. As we said, King's Knicks 100 is here. King Ribby in the building. Manchild, Danny Landis, D Coolest in the building. Salute to all of y'all. Thank you for tuning in and watching the show. We got our special guest in the building, Mike Blayz. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So we chopping it up. Appreciate you guys. All right. So next thing I wanted to talk about, I mean, it seems like we're into that realm where I think this is gonna start happening more and more because some of these guys are just getting older and they've done so much that it seems to keep happening. We talked about it last week. Steph Curry, he broke the record for to start a season consecutive games. He had, I think, most consecutive games to start a season with 4 3-point shots made. Like, it's weird stats, but I don't know, whatever. This is what's happening right now. This is just what's going on. But LeBron
Right.
James made history, folks. LeBron moved up to 8th on the all-time 3-point field goals made list in the history of the NBA. Now, I don't know if he is going to get any further than 7, because 7 is very close. 7 right now is Vince Carter, and surprisingly, LeBron's only maybe 100 or something like that away. But after that, it gets a little hairy. So, but
Mm.
it's still, that's an incredible feat to be in the top 10 in 3-point shot. And the weird thing is, if we remember when LeBron James came into this league, he couldn't really shoot. I mean, he was all right, he could score, but the 3-point shot wasn't his friend. And he was also scared to take them. Remember, because he was always passing up big shots. That was like a big knock on him. But as time went by, he's gotten more aggressive. He's letting that puppy fly. And it's just, look at what happens. Now he's 8th on the all-time list. So yeah, man. What's your thoughts on LeBron? I know you're familiar with him, Blayz.
Oh yeah, man, definitely. Man, I think these debates with LeBron and being the best or whatever, um, I think it's a double-edged sword, But what I will say that I am why I'm a fan of LeBron is his philanthropy and his family life, his business acumen. Dude got a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
He don't do too much missing when it comes to like even in film, um, his business ventures. He's a he's a real astute player. And philanthropy, what he's doing, philanthropy on his philanthropic attributes, like with the schools and with what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know if I don't know what players maybe at the time the things that were going on, like when the Jordans were coming up, maybe they weren't heralded as much, or maybe it wasn't just that much in the forefront. Maybe LeBron's just maybe what he's doing has just been a little bit more in the forefront. But I don't think I've ever really heard of. You guys may know. I don't never really heard of a player who's doing or who has done what he's done on that philanthropic side like that, like he's doing. So now I'm
Right.
just a yeah, I as far as player, man, listen, I always have a conversation. Is he with Jordan, Magic, and Bird, is he the greatest? That's all I say. Now I understand it's a different time, it's different, all of that stuff. But I mean, when you talking about like the greatest, people you can't separate time when you say the greatest because you say the greatest,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't separate time. That's what you got to realize. You cannot separate time because the greatest has to be able to sus- withstand the test of time. The greatest can
Right.
do that. You can't be the greatest if you can't do that. Like you saying the greatest to ever play the game. Is he the greatest in that situation? That's really all I got, to say about that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's I don't know. That's that. This is going to be a question that it's
Forever,
just
right?
going.
Yeah.
People going to be yeah. This is going to be one of those forever arguments between Jordan and. I mean, some people don't even want to give LeBron the edge over Kobe. Like,
Well, oh, now listen. Now I'm kind of one of. I might be one of those people. I might be one of Kobe was
it's tough. It's tough. It's all about what you value in
yeah.
the player and what that player is giving you.
Right,
So
right,
if
right.
you value championships and grit and heart and that killer instinct, you may value Kobe more. If you value all around game and just understanding how to play and being fantastic defensively and a good passer and you know I would say LeBron is the type of guy who makes his teammates better. That's probably his best. He is the best in the game in his prime at doing that. I think better than Jordan, better than Kobe. He knows how to make his teammates better and get them involved. Whereas Kobe and LeBron, Kobe and Jordan did it more of as a necessity. If they could score all the points and not be stopped, believe me, I think they would. But things happen. What's your thoughts, John?
Yeah, LeBron is bound to get a lot more of these, accolades as time, doom's nearer to the end for him. You know what I mean? Like he's already had a really long career, and he's going to be on all the top boards at the end of his career, just for pure longevity, in the game and playing at an elite level. I mean, he's still playing at an elite level right now, and I think he's what 38, something like that.
You guys think he's waiting to try to play one season with his son?
Yeah, I mean he.
Yeah,
I would say
that's the plan.
yes. That's his plan. He stated it as
Doesn't
so,
mean
and
it happened
he
though.
Oh,
al-
okay.
right. He stated that, and he also I guess he for this season, because his son had the issue with the with the medical issue that he ran into, or that came up. He's dedicating this year's his game his dedicating this year to his son, and
Right.
sort of like everything that comes with it. So he's all in, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down at his age. I think he's 38 though, right, if I'm not mistaken.
He is, yeah, he's 38.
38 years old. Yeah, so that like Father Time doesn't lose in any sport, right? Doesn't matter what sport you choose. Maybe bowling's different, possibly, but
Yeah, you're right.
with age, with most athletic sports, you're bound to break down. You know what I mean? And you're bound to lose something, even whether it be speed or agility, or something's bound to go. The one thing that sticks is your IQ, and for some odd reason in basketball, the jump shot gets better when you get older. And I'm not sure if it's just the touch, because when we think about players like a Jason Kidd, for instance, he got better with time when it came to his 3-point shot. And I think that's the same goes. I would say the same goes for LeBron James, and MJ. MJ also started building on his 3-point shooting as he got older. And so, I just think that's something that you learn over time. You learn how to finesse it and let it go a lot cleaner off your hands when you're shooting the long
And
three.
leads go over time. You ain't going to
That's you.
the hole like that no more. You got to develop
Yeah,
a little outside game a little bit because
yeah,
you ain't going to the hole like that no more as the time progresses.
yeah. That's also got to be a part of it, right? When you're young, you're willing to take on the contact. As you get older, you're like, I'm not trying to wrestle with folks or jump into contact like that anymore.
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely part of it. I would say so. But yeah, I mean, LeBron's gonna knock down a lot of these, all of these, 3-point field goals made and all of that. Like he's gonna supersede a lot of these stats when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I love what he's doing, man, with
Yeah.
his philanthropy and his family life and all of that. I hope he doesn't stick around too long for there to be a scandal attached to him, to his legacy.
Right.
You know, I really hope that. I love how he's I don't know if it's a good life PR or whatever, but from businessman to family man or whatever, the brother definitely is. He's top tier.
Yeah, I mean, he
Besides the court.
absolutely, as a person, as someone who has been in the limelight from the age of what, 16, 17. Like he's been in front and center as the face of basketball for that long, and to really put it together the way he has, and he's kept true to, you know, sort of his fellowship, like what he's earned and the direction he wanted to take in the NBA and outside of the NBA. Like he's always had a direct path, and he had a vision, and he's followed that vision, along with bringing up a couple of his friends and bringing them into the fold. I think it's turned out great for him, and he superseded everyone's expectations. I don't think anyone could have expected him to have the career that he's currently had outside of the people who were, writing about him back in the day, and expecting him to be, you know, the next Jordan or the next Magic. Because he
Right.
first came into the league, everybody sort of matched him up with the Magic. He's the new
Mhm.
wave, like he's the new Magic, but has the ability to score like Jordan. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I think he's done a great job, and hopefully, he sticks around long enough to be there and play at least a year, at least a year with his oldest son Bronny. It would be awesome if he would, you know, stick around for 5 more years and get Bronny and Bryce on the same
Oh
squad,
wow.
and really, that would be epic.
Oh yeah, yeah. If he
Yeah.
plays
That's
the first time he plays with his son and actually has it, if he ever does, to me it stop the weather or not.
Right,
He's the greatest. Then he's the
right.
greatest.
One of the biggest things
oh,
too is I think he's knowledgeable enough to be a coach, a player coach. I think the last player coach in the NBA was like Bill Russell, right? Something like around that. Like Bill Russell was probably like the last player
I
coach.
mean, legitimate player coach, yeah. Because there's been
Right,
a couple pseudo guys out there, like Jason Kidd was kind of doing
right,
some stuff
right,
while he
right.
was playing
Mhm.
towards the end. But
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
I could see that for LeBron. I could see him coaching Bryce. You know what I mean? Like coming back into the NBA to do some coaching. You know what I mean? But again, it all depends on what his business career path is, because I think he's got a lot going on. Like you said, his philanthropy work and his film and television work. He produces great programming and film and television. He's a businessman, like JC says. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Hmm. Yeah, no, yeah, that like I said, it's a question it's gonna be going on forever. Maybe we'll come to a conclusion, but there's a lot. The problem is the other thing with LeBron is that he's still playing, right? Jordan, for
And at a
example,
high
played
level.
15 years. Well,
Yeah.
yes, but Jordan played 15 years. LeBron,
Right.
this is his 21st season. He's got 6 more years on Jordan. You could do a lot
Yeah.
with 6 years. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we'll see. We'll see.
It's,
But it's
it's
an
there's
interesting
something
conversation.
there's something to be said about longevity. Now, if I was starting a team, who would I pick first? I mean, I'm wearing his cap, right? Like, that's- I just, that to me is who I would choose as the GOAT, right? Like, he's the greatest of all time, in my opinion, as far as like a basketball player. Um, but again, I wouldn't, like the argument, it makes sense to argue that LeBron could potentially take that reign, but I would never choose LeBron over Jordan. He's my number two to Jordan.
Right. That's fair. I understand that. That makes sense. So, couple quick questions and we'll get into the next part of the show. Um, Tyrese Haliburton. Is he the next young star in the NBA, folks? Real quick. Now, this one, Blayz, you may not be familiar with. I know he's a newer
I was about
player,
to
so
say,
maybe
I'm
you
gonna
don't
send
know.
this one out.
That's so. That's okay. That's all right. I'll just pose it to John real quick.
Okay.
So I
Hallie.
mean, he could he be? Could he be? Let's look at let's just see. Let me share my screen here so y'all can see what Hallie's doing right now, because Hallie's he's not Halle Berry, but he's Hallie. You know what I mean? Like he's doing some stuff. So as you guys can see, let me blow that up just slightly, a tad, a tasket. He is. Oh man, NBA is gonna kill me. Stop that. Stupid video there. All right, here we go. So Tyrese Haliburton is currently at 24.7 points per game, 12.5 assists. He's shooting 43.6% from three, 52.8% from the field, and he's pulling down 4.2 rebounds.
Is he
I don't
close to
know,
two?
John.
Is he close to 2 steals a game? Is he like at 1.5, 1.9 steals per game?
He is. What is he at? Let's see if I can scroll down a little bit. I
Oh,
don't know
he's
why
at a
my mouse is
1.1. It looks like
1.6 for his career. He's at
1.1.
what is this?
Is that
Let me get let me
1.1?
get let me get let me get the stat things here. There we go. He's at 1.1. Correct.
Yeah, 1.1. If he gets that up to a 2, that's gonna look nice, man. You know,
Dude, but look at the free throw. He's shooting 93% from the free throw line.
that's great.
Ooh.
That's awesome. And
Mm.
remember, 93% from the free throw line.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's what they expected him not to shoot well from the free throw or 3-point line. You know what I mean? Like that was the knock on him that he couldn't shoot it.
Wow. Damn,
Who's
that's
he play
crazy.
for? I can't see. Who's he play for?
The Indiana Pacers.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, and this just puts one thing to bed. I'm sorry, Knicks fans. You know, I'm with you. We here. You know how it is.
Right?
I just wanted to throw this out there.
Picked
The
the wrong guy.
Halliburton Brunson thing.
It would have
Halliburton's
worked.
the dude. Yeah, no. Halliburton is the dude. I mean, like, cause everybody's
Oh,
comparing Halliburton to Brunson. Brunson's not going to win this one, folks. Halliburton is a beast. He's like,
oh, I
and
mean,
you know,
he
every
has to
time.
keep it up.
No, I think he will, bro. I as
Right.
much as I've tried to hate on Halliburton, I looked at a lot of his stuff last year. Somebody was writing some stuff on Twitter about him and was like, oh, you know, they were like, oh, I don't know, you know. It was something actually it was something negative about Brunson. They said, wow, you know, when's the last time you could ever think of Brunson getting 15 assists? And so me trying to be the good Knicks fan, trying to fire back. So I said, well, when's the last time Haliburton shot 12 of 15 for 87% and scored 40 points with
Right.
and then I looked at Haliburton's stuff. No, he did not shoot 12 for 15 for 40 points. But he did shoot 12 for 16. And he did have 13 assists while he was I was like, oh damn, Haliburton is nice, B. I can't even
No,
argue with this guy's
I,
nice.
listen, he was my guy during his draft. I
I
was
remember. I know you didn't
salivating
want Obi,
for
you wanted
Haliburton.
Haliburton. I know.
I was salivating for Haliburton, but then they decided not to go with him because like I said, they were basically saying he couldn't shoot it. You know what I mean, with consistency. And I was like, dude, who cares? Because his floor game as a floor general is like it was on Jason Kidd's level. And I was like, you win with a guy as with a point guard who can distribute the ball like he can in the fast break and that fast tempo. But you know, we were still in flux. Like we still had like poor leadership here with the Knicks, so they chose to go with Toppin, and you know, a few years later, Toppin's not even with the team and is now teamed up with Haliburton within in the Indiana Pacers. You know, so you know,
Yeah.
this is where we at, man.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting because you know sometimes I felt like an old head in music. And see, this is why this all works together. You know how the
Mm.
old heads be like, yeah, these dudes ain't lyricists. They don't know how to put the songs. They don't know what
Yeah,
hits
right,
is,
right,
right?
right,
Not giving the young generation any love. That's how
right.
I felt thinking about Haliburton. I'm like, he a young dude. He ain't ready for. He's talking a lot of. But he's nice. He's backing it up.
Yeah.
I gotta go. I'm like, all right, buddy. He's nice.
Right.
I gotta say it. And shout out to Knicks 100. He's like, you got to have your stuff on point when you're on Twitter. You're right. That's why Knicks 100. I was about to fire back, but I said before I send this tweet, let me just go look up some Haliburton numbers. And when I looked at Haliburton numbers, he had some big games last year. So I was like, nope, delete.
Yeah.
Got to go
I
out
mean,
get out of here.
he was chosen over Brunson, right, as the last starter,
He
all
was.
star.
He got the All-Star nod.
He got the nod,
And so I
right?
can't and even Wally Zerbiak had to eat his words. He was like, after he said what he
Right.
said about Haliburton, he had to take it back because
Right.
like sometimes somebody some of these young guys will give you the wake-up call. That's
Right.
what he did. And shout out to J-Boogie. He said LeBron is destined to be an owner. He's never going to coach. And if he can have it his way, he'll want the team in Vegas.
I totally
I don't
agree.
know if he'll never coach, but I do agree that he wants to be an owner and
Oh
probably
yeah,
have
yeah.
that
His
team in
business
Vegas.
acumen, he definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
could see that. I could see that.
Yeah,
You
He
you
can
you
he
might
can
be
hit
on
you.
something there.
He could be owner and GM, right? Hit you with the Pat
Mm,
Riley.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
he'll
saying?
if he could run everything, he'll run
Yeah.
everything.
yeah,
Right.
And have all his clutch people bringing in all the
Oh yeah.
talent. It'll be the
100.
CAA
yeah,
thing, but clutch for
Yep.
yeah,
them.
Right.
Yeah,
I can see that being the
yeah, yeah,
goal, the definite goal. Like I can see
Right.
him knowing now that that's what he's gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
right.
agree. I'm just saying he has the acumen to coach. Like he has that sort of understanding of the game. Like his IQ is like, you know, bar none. Like he sees the game, he reads the game like no one has ever in the NBA, outside of like, your Kobe's and your Jordans. But I think he sees it in a different light because he's he was he's a willing passer, right? He's a guy who came into the league understanding that distributing the ball to my teammates will get them involved. And so he was sort of a floor general, sort of a very, very similar to Magic, right? And so scoring because of his size and his athleticism came a little easy to him because early in his career he was driving to the basket. No one was able to stop a young juggernaut at 6'8", 220 pounds, whatever, however big like he was a man coming in to a man's game at the age of 17. Like he was built like a man. So like, and these are all types of pause moments right now. So, but regardless, it's just, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he was a young,
yeah.
he's a phenom, basically, is what I'm saying. He was a phenom. So
Agreed. I hear you. All right, guys, listen. We got two more things to cover with this NBA stuff, and it's real quick. These are real quick, actually. First off, we got to hit you with the NBK breaking news. Oh man. Oh no, say it ain't so. Glen Big Baby Davis gets convicted on healthcare fraud case versus the NBA. No, Big Baby, no. Oh man.
it's
Glen
a
Big
huge
I was just
insurance scam, right?
Yeah, he's on the show Power right now. He's playing oh man, apropos. He's actually playing a kingpin drug dealer that's behind bars in prison. So, oh man,
Wow.
I mean, maybe he might get used to them pins, them colors or whatever. I don't know, man. Yeah. So Glenn Big Baby
That'll be
Davis,
fair
as well
time.
as yes, a real it might be club fed, but he might be in a bad spot right now. Him along with a bunch of other former NBA players and a couple other people
Mhm.
are all a part of this big case in this healthcare fraud case versus the NBA. Um,
It's
he
crazy.
is a big piece of the case, as well as what is that gentleman's name? Oh shoot, I had it and I think I might have hit the button and erased it. What's the guy's name? I'll pull it up right now. It's a former
Talking
player
about
that
four former players.
not every yeah, he's another former player. Not everybody's gonna remember him, but I remember him. when he played.
Yeah.
But Will Bynum. Will Bynum is the other person that is mentioned. They both were found guilty in the fraud scheme. Now, if you remember, this fraud scheme has layers. I'm not going to get into all the layers of it because there are certain people who are already in jail serving time for the same
Right.
fraud case. So it's been prosecuted in different pieces. One of those people, shout out to my guy Prophet. You guys, friend of the show. You know, he's been on the show a bunch of different times. We've done the draft, specials and stuff. I'll never forget. He was like, Ron, you got to see this kid. This kid is going to change the game. He's going to change the NBA. He can jump out the gym. He's got a sweet jump shot. He's got handle. He can do everything. His name was Terrence Williams. You guys remember he played for the New Jersey Nets prior to them being Brooklyn. He never turned out to be. He all had all the talent in the world. He just never. He's like the Harold Miners of the world. You know, he just turned out to be one of those guys. And he got caught in the fraud case, and he's serving 10 years. He's already serving his sentence. So yeah, it's crazy.
He
it's
give
wild.
me the bid early, and I'm get it done. You know.
Yeah, it's wild stuff, man. So just real quick, man. Do you remember Glen Big Baby Davis? He was around a little bit. Maybe you remember him, Blayz?
Nah, it doesn't. What was
He was Boston Celtic, right, at one point, and I forget he got moved around a little bit too.
Oh yeah. So it was like a standout. I don't
bench player. Yeah, he was more of a bench player.
Okay, I probably starter. Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. He was kind of like a little bit more than basketball because of his big frame. You know how it is. Sometimes with certain players, they outside of their game, they become novelties.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like, so because of his big frame and his lovable attitude.
Now that you say that, it's someone's coming back that might fit that description. I'm not.
It might come back to you in that regard. Right, so he was kind of looked at as like a big teddy bear type. Like the little kids loved him. The women thought he was like, a cute big teddy bear type guy. Like outside of if he could play ball or not. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of. I'm just surprised that he got himself caught up in this thing.
I mean, it's sad because you would think that, like, as your former NBA players, they choose to use the income that they are getting and figure out ways that they could sort of, I don't know, like figure out ways that they could have their funds work for them to some degree, and not have to like lean towards a scam. You know what I mean? Like this was an insurance fraud, right? Case that basically is going on with the health insurance, where they were claiming dental procedures, and basically, getting paid tons of money, for these false dental procedures because they attached it to like a dentist, somebody who was also, so they were just at the back end taking all the money from the insurance company. But like I said, like, you would think that they're smart enough, that they're around mentorship that could sort of help them funnel their money in the right direction versus, figuring out ways to save money and have savings accounts set up for them, and whatever it may be, invest your money wisely in some cases. But it, time and time over again, you start to see all these things come up with ex-NBA players. Either they're going bankrupt because they're not utilizing their money wisely, they're not taking care of their money, they're not financially literate, and that's part of the issue right there. It's like when you're not financially literate and you're not able to like, stay on top of your earnings and have people around you who you can trust with your earnings is also an issue. And it's just you start to turn into like other ways of making money and income, and this is what's the cause of that.
100%. It's like, look, like as much as when you don't have anything, this is when you get caught up doing this type of dumbness, right? Because you don't have anything, all right? You're struggling, you're scrounging for something. These guys, former players like Will Bynum, Big Baby, like they made a little money. Did they do proper things with their money? Who knows? But it's like this is a real, like it's a get rich quick type scheme thing that it just these things never work. And if they do work, the only people that it works for are the people who can get out quick. Get in and get out before anybody finds out. And that rarely ever happens. So it's like, who wins in this? Tell me the story when somebody actually wins here, because I never see it. I never know why they keep doing this stuff.
Well, we don't see it because they ain't going to speak on it, right? So,
well, yeah. Those are the ones that won, the ones that we never hear about.
You're never going to hear about it because they didn't get caught. They didn't, they were able to get out on time.
Yeah, true. I mean, listen, Knicks 100 said sometimes people just do things for the thrill of it. That's true too. There's a lot of people have different vices. There's weird stuff that go on.
That could be true.
Who knows?
I'm not built for that club. I just don't understand it.
No. I'm just want to be on the straight and narrow and get through life, and hopefully, because I'm on the straight and narrow, somebody will bless me one day. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I can hope. All right, so we're about to get into our little break the ice segment before we get into the hip hop thing, but I just wanted to acknowledge this one person real quick, and we like to watch what's going on out there, and sometimes these players get busy. You know what I mean? So let's just say we're taking a look. Who's on the NBK radar? Yes. This person is none other than Dame Dollars, folks. That's right. In his game, he got busy. So you got to pay attention to these games sometimes. Because when I looked at the game, I looked at who was playing. I didn't see any Giannis. When I didn't see Giannis, I said, you know what? Dame's going to have a big night. And boy, did he. 37 points, 4 rebounds, 13 assists, 2 steals. Dame Dollar got busy. Dame's just doing Dame. So shout out to Dame Dollar. He's the NBK radar player to watch for this show. So shout out to him. I don't know. I still think he's terribly inconsistent over there, but maybe he'll get it together and show a little bit more consistency as time goes by. All right. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for rocking with us and being here and supporting the show. Once again, we got our special guest Mike Blayz in the building here. Yeah, man, appreciate you, brother. So we got a little something we like to kind of break up the monotony real quick, Mike. We call this little check the rhyme. So it's only going to be 4 questions, right? It's if you can guess the artist, you get 5 points each time. If you can guess the song, you get another 5 points. So you can walk around, out of here with 40 points, man. Now I'm not going to say this is going to be the easiest, but I do think this might be. People might find this a little easier than the way we were doing it before. Okay. So try to listen closely. I don't know how good it sounds, but you're gonna have to use your ears on this one. So let me get you right with the first one here. Let me pull it up now because I don't want to just start it because it might have just popped up and who knows. All right, we'll save this one for last. Let's start with this one. Okay. All right. So the first one up. Once again, you guess the artist, you get 5 points. You guess the song, you can get another 5 points. All right, here we go.
One love to the thugs on top, pushing drops on the shrimp going out, busting slugs, bubbling rocks, do your thing, God. Whoever's not involved, get rid of them. Finishing them, play them too close. Snakes cut throats, you know the ropes. Use intelligent folks to build, plus control the non-steady, ready blow. Let them know, don't be mad at me, just cause you ain't bad as me. You gradually grow hard and tear shit apart. Shit I spark from the start and regulate, taking your body weight. I leave you critical to non-pitiful, blowing brains out. Even A-double-L won't lift the stain out. I'm blowing backs out, niggas ass out. So what you doing in them eyes you be screwing me with? Fuck around, lay around, make me empty my clip. Sending nonsense, I got my click on the do or die trip. Was I cocky? Then I got this, now watch me lock it.
Woo! He was spitting mad fire. See how fast he was spitting? Woo! Wee! Obviously,
Probably,
just want to let you know that we sped that up. We sped that up to kind of disguise the voices. Yeah.
Man, I'm leaning towards Nas, but I got somebody else. I just can't remember who. But that's real Nas-ish right there too, though.
That's a very good guess.
I could see how you would say that. Yeah.
But I'm thinking it ain't though. But it's Nas-ish to me because I can't remember who. I can't think about. I'm not. Yeah, I don't think it's Nas, but it's Nas-ish.
You're in that era too. That's what's crazy.
Yeah. So I gotta give it. Man, oh man, who am I thinking about? It's not even big. I'm not saying Big L either. It's not L, but it's like man, I can't think of one.
I'm gonna give him a hit because this ain't that easy. Can I?
Are you gonna go? Okay, all right, go ahead.
So it's you're in the right borough, right? You said Nas. You're in the right borough, and you're in the right city. So stay in that area.
Let me see. Dang, yo, I can't even. So let me see. My Queens guys. Not Nas. I'm gonna go with I don't think this is right, but I'm gonna go with OC.
OC, is that your final answer?
Okay, is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually
not a bad
that's
answer.
a good guess. And listen, who knows? Because maybe he's right. Let's tell him what he's done. Unfortunately, it is not OC. It is not OC. Do you want to? Oh man, I mean, I don't know if you don't get if you don't get the artist, it's tough to get the song, right?
Right. So I think it's time for us to reveal who it is.
Let me know who that is.
Okay. Why don't you take the first one? I'll take the second one.
So okay, this is well, I don't have it in front of me, so
all right, I'll tell you that. I'll do it. I got it. So this is actually Big Noid.
Right.
Oh,
and the song is called "The Usual Suspects."
Yeah.
But you was right there.
Yeah.
Like legit right there.
I was like, he's in the area. I mean, he might get this.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I could tell the influence. You know what I'm saying? I could tell the influence. So but yeah, I wouldn't have known Noid. I was never really a Noid fan like that. I definitely know who he is. I'm like, okay. But I never was a Noid. I wasn't a Noid fan.
It's definitely part of the Mob Deep,
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
Right.
But cut under the same cloth, right? Nas, he was right there. He was right in that area. What you said, I was like, oh, he's close.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys. Cormega, that's an interesting guess. New Knicks City and Squad is in the building. What's good? Appreciate you.
Going to Cormega.
Yeah, I was actually surprised because when you said that, I was like, maybe he's gonna say Cormega because I could think somebody might say Cormega. Right. Yeah. Okay. Let's get another one up here.
You know what I'm noticing, Ron? Now that we're going to this new format, what we can do probably in our next go, we can actually play the actual clip, but maybe just a shortened version of the clip because we'll get copyrighted.
That might be tough. I don't know. I would love to. I don't know. We'll see. We'll check the YouTube guidelines because we're not trying to.
We're already demonetized.
Yeah. Okay, let's put up the next one real quick, guys. And it flows better this way. Okay. Let's see here. This one, we'll save that one for last. All right, let's go with this one. All right, this is number 2. You ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Up to the thugs on top, pushing drops on the shrimp, going out, busting slugs, bubbling.
Oh wait, hold on. I hit the wrong one. I hit the same one. My bad. Sorry. I apologize. I gotta delete it.
Okay.
Remove. Okay, here we go.
Remove that.
I wish so much that I get papers. Peace to all the DJs who gave me love on they mixtapes. And once again, the man's back with a dance track. So here's your chance, Jack, to get loose and let your hands clap. I got juice like Boku. Mad crews I broke through. Brothers be mad cause I hit more chicks than they spoke to. And every time I'm jammed, I always find a loophole. I got a crime record.
Okay.
I
I
know
don't know.
that.
You was
I
you
know
was
that.
bopping.
I
You was
know the
bopping,
rap,
Mike. I
but
think
this-
you might know that one.
This is what's crazy. I know the rap, but not the artist or the song. But I know the rap.
What? Really?
But I know the rap.
Oh no!
I know the rap.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Ah.
Oh my God, man.
Oh, here's a hint. Here's a hint.
This is terrible.
Here's the hint. It was big at the time.
Yeah.
Big
That's what I'm saying.
song
Like,
at the time.
It's
And NY.
and I'm because the flow is obvious. I got a brain for it.
You want to give him another one? You want to give him a burrow? Let's give him a burrow.
I ain't one of them. Like if I ain't even. It's not even gonna. It ain't gonna click because I ain't.
The burrow ain't gonna help you.
Yeah, I know. Like I know the. You know, I'm thinking about that person is.
I got a hint because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ron, he said he named them earlier, didn't he?
Yes. He already threw him out there. Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's a hint for you if you want to throw a guess out. You threw the name out there.
I threw the name out there, but I only was only shit. So I'm gonna go with big. It's got to be Big L then, right?
I don't know. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, fine, man.
There we go. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that was Big L though. I thought that was
Well, that's good that we threw you off a little bit, but that's Big L.
For real.
So now that we know that it's Big L, do you want to play that again to see if you can come up with the song?
Let me tell you what it was like that. Slowing it down messed me up. Like speeding it up. If I'd have heard it sped up, I would have been. I would have known that. But slowing it down, slowing it down messed me up. Slowing it down,
right.
he had that broken flow a little bit like old dirt sounding, you know, like vernacular, kind of cut choppy. But if I heard it sped up, I would have, I'd have known that. That's dope though. I like.
Let's play it one more time.
Let's play it again. All right, hold on.
Because now you got to guess the song.
Oh my God, man! What the hell? Yeah, I definitely.
I gotta do the whole thing, man. This is ridiculous. I gotta add it again. I don't know why it does that when you share stuff, but okay, it's cool. We got it. We'll get it straight. All right, here we go. Here we go.
With some must that I get papers. Peace to all the DJs who gave me love on they mixtapes. And once again, the man's back with a dance track. So here's your chance, Jack, to get loose and let your hands clap. I got juice like Boku. Mad crews I broke through. Brothers be mad cause I hit more chicks than they spoke to. And every time I'm jammed, I always find a loophole. I got a crime record.
Okay.
Oh my God, what is the name of that record, yo?
And shout out to Knicks 100 because Knicks 100 guessed it the first time he heard it. I was like, oh wow. Damn, okay.
Yeah. He was on it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done, guys.
You don't got it.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
All right. The name of this song is.
Let's give the chat a chance. Does the chat know?
Wait, yeah. Does anybody in the chat know what the name of this song is? That's what gets me, man. I can remember artists, but
songs are hard
me
to
off is the name of the songs,
it's
man.
Hard. It's hard, man. It's hard for me. And I'm
give you a look.
I'm a country boy, but you know I'm a New York like Big Daddy Kane, and you know, man, I mean,
Right.
I'm that guy because I just
That was the sounds, man, back in
right,
when we all started, and
yeah.
listening, the sounds were of New
I
York
mean, I was
City,
a fan
really.
of Group. I think Group Home had one of the best. I think they were. That's to me. That's one of the
Group home.
best
Wow.
produced, worst rap albums I've ever heard in my life. Like, those, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it was a classic joint. But I was like,
Oh, looks like no one's getting it. All right. Well, we're gonna have to move on. Sorry. The name of the song is MVP.
MVP.
That's the game. Oh
Yep.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta get to that chorus, I'm the MVP.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
Next one up. Ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Sweet, now you can't sleep. Gotta keep your eyes open wide and hide your face from the streets. I'm like the beast with a warrant, far from alarming. Gave you fair warning, now you wanna stay squalling. I'm calling out any rapper that I doubt. Smack him in the mouth, throw him in the yoke, boom, then I knock him out. No doubt, Freddie Fox fouls, 20 shot, auto Glock plow. Benny Blind, Porter Rock style, with a twist of black.
He's like, boom, knock him in the mouth. Oh man.
He's some good joints. I like being stumped, man. That sound Norious to me. That sound like a little Nor or damn.
There's something in this. There's something in this. If you have an idea, like there's something that kind of helps give it away, but I don't know if it's enough. Maybe it's just me because I know,
right?
But I knew who it was by something that I heard while this is happening.
When he said the Freddie Fox line put me in there, that's why I said oh my God. Yeah, I'm stumped, brother. I'm stumped.
It's okay. It's okay to be stumped. Sometimes it happens, man. Sometimes it happens.
Not an easy game, man. Not at all.
I'm stumped.
I mean, you want to take a guess? Don't go crazy over it. Just
Oh man, let me see. Oh man, nah, I'm
blanking.
Huh?
Nah.
All right. Well, John, do you want to say who the artist is? I'll say the song.
I mean, why don't we put up the Knicks 100? Put it on there.
Yeah, Knicks 100 be on it, B.
He's on it.
It's Big Pun, B. I don't know how Knicks 100 does this, man. So what I was saying, and I wondered, Knicks 100, do you know the song? What I was saying, the reason why I'm like, because I'm tuned into him, so I knew when I heard it, I was like, oh boy.
I only know Pun. I only know Pun. You know what I'm saying? The records. I only know big.
I got you.
I wasn't as crazy as I wasn't a Pun fan.
Right.
No. That's fine. I mean, I hear you on that. Not everybody was, to begin with. Posthumously, he gained a lot more fans.
Oh yeah.
I think what did it for me is like if you can hear it, especially now that it was slowed down, he takes like huge breaths.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like, geez.
I mean, listen.
Yeah, I was like, that's fun.
If it ain't so hard, I'm probably done. About, you know what I'm saying, with those step features, you know what I'm saying. But Pun records, I'm probably so hard, and I'm probably one and done.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so Knicks 100 says he said I don't know Pun songs either, but he hit it. That's right. Beware. Shout out to you, Knicks 100. Doing your thing out there in the chat, B.
We see you.
All right. Yeah. Okay, last one, and let's get up out of here and move on to the getting into Mike Blayz's life over here. Cause I'm curious, man. I'm curious. All right. Here we go. Last one. I think this one to me is the hardest one, in my opinion, but I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's see.
get into the paper like it's human nature. God, if the more they haters, that just motivators. I know revenge tastes the sweetest, I'm gon' save her. I'm just sending all my graces up to my creator. No negotiation, this is world domination. You can fill the trophy cases up with nominations. I'm the
Oh, that last line is, I know that too. Ah, man. Crazy.
This is tough one.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right,
This one is tough.
here's a hint. Everyone who was on our catalog of picks today had the name Big in front of their. That's just a hint. So was it Big Daddy Kane? Was it, you know?
Was it Big Marquee?
B.I.G.?
Wait, that's not how it goes.
The theme was, you know, was in that era, in that area. Now this cat comes more of what would you say? It's what's another good hint, Ron, for this artist?
He's married. He's got kids.
Nah, that's not. It's not good enough.
A really good hint is if you just think of hip hop today, he is probably in the last school of lyricists for this current generation. So he's younger, but he's in the last school of hip hop lyricists for this current generation. Because now everything's mumble rap or drill or whatever it is. Like, you know, it's different. And so that would include guys like Drake and others like that. Yeah,
I'm thinking I'm on the big names now.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the best. That's probably the best hint we could give you because some people might get it wrong.
I'm on the big name. I'm on the big name.
You want us to play it again?
Nah.
Get it ready, Ron, just in case we need to play that again.
I don't know if that helps anybody.
Right.
I don't know. I think we got Knicks 100. He's stumped too. He ain't putting it out there.
All right. I you know.
Go ahead, bro.
It's not coming.
All right. Okay.
Detroit,
it's
Michigan's own.
to the paper like it's human nature. God, if the more they haters, that just motivators.
Okay, it's Big Sean.
Big Sean.
Okay. I wouldn't have got that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Detroit, Michigan.
He went with the theme, Knicks 100. All the bigs.
Yep. All the bigs.
Yeah.
Except Big Papa never softening. We didn't put that big in there, but
Right.
I know. Listen, it's certain ones that I'm not going, but listen, that was dope, fellas. To be honest, because I
appreciate
don't
that.
Get stumped, but I like the I ain't mad at stumped because I'm not nobody was that I really I hate I missed it. I should have got the Big L one though.
Listen, that's okay though. That's okay. You got one, and we try to make it fun but difficult at the same time. Give you something a little think about. It all depends on what music you listen to. Sometimes too. Sometimes we should be surprised, especially guys like yourself who produce. You guys are busy doing a lot of stuff, so sometimes you don't hear a lot of music. It's interesting to me, but I see that.
I'm ahead though. Listen, I was telling somebody the other day. I was asking somebody, I'm like, y'all remember the Boogie Monsters? Who remembers the Boogie Monsters? I was like, yo, They were must. Really, really dope.
Yeah, we got you, Knicks 100.
Yeah, we got him. You was on it. You was on it. Yeah, Boogie Monsters. What they were similar to, like, well, I don't know if they were similar to like the Grave Diggers. What they would you say they were?
Kind of, but you know what's crazy is Marley. That's Marley's. They're Marley's people. Marley
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, so it was that gave me a greater respect for Marley at the time too.
Right.
How he was going, but yeah, they was thresholds of negative stress.
Right.
You know, they was.
I don't know them that well. I know the Grave Diggers, but I don't really know the Boogie Monsters like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah.
I only know because of, like, you know, one of my close friends, sort of like an older brother than me, was a super hip hop head. So he would put on songs, and I would like sit down and listen. Like, oh, okay, I did. You know, and that's how I caught on to like certain songs and certain music back in those days, because I was super young at the time. I wasn't really catching.
I was always
like
a producer's guy, so anything that's how I know about him. Marley, Primo, of course, Pete Rock. You know what I'm saying? I was still a producer. Say anything that they was attached to, I wanted to hear. I wanted to, you know, I never would have liked Group Home as a
that makes sense.
Rap. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Primo, I had to listen to it. So
early Q-Tip, you're right.
Oh,
Q-Tip,
man,
the vibe, with the jazz metal, all of that,
a very slept on producer. Another one.
Right. Well, and let me give you the proper send off. Once again, guys, thank you. This was Mike Blayz, and he was participating in and we appreciate it. And we appreciate you for that. And of course, we already in it, but I'm gonna hit you with the second half anyway. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is
our favorite half of the show, by the way.
Yes. We love getting involved in hearing all of the music stuff and getting to know these special guests like yourself, Mike. So thank you once again for being here. So where did this all start for you? Like what really kind of got you into music, and not even prior to producing, like what got you into the love of music and hip hop and beats and just the sounds? What did that for you?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Pre-show, I woke up, man. It's very simple. I woke up to music daily. My pops was a musician. He managed groups. He was a choir director, and a lot of stuff that went on in those venues happened right in my living room. So I woke up to instruments. There was keyboards, saxophones, drums, all that type of stuff in my house. So I could sing, I could rap, I could break dance, I could do a lot of things just based off of you know, people. Right now, I'm in my area. A lot of people know me for being able to produce vocals very well. They call me an R&B producer, which is crazy because my favorite is hip hop. But that reasoning is because I watched my dad be vocalists in choir rehearsals and, you know, and quartets, and I know the importance of everybody having their note and things like that. So that happened. That was as I was growing up. Those kind of things happened. So it was a natural progression for me. Ironically, my pops, even though we vibed and connected on music, he wanted me to be better than him. He couldn't read by note. He wanted me to be trained. He played by ear, so he wanted me to be trained. So he didn't do a lot of giving me game as far as learning how to play and stuff like that. It was just me hearing things and wanted to make what I heard, because everybody else, when I was singing, you know, what the cats couldn't do what I was hearing, and so on and so forth. And I really, you know, I remember one time he came downstairs and he was like, how you know how to play that? How you know how to play that? You know, it was just easy, you know, just easy for me. And it started from there.
Wow,
you know,
just so you basically off ear, you could hear.
Oh yeah,
and
right.
play.
And then you know, that Yamaha DX7 drum machine changed my life. You know, so 4 tracks, the Yamaha, and little Casio keyboard with a second. You know, you had I remember I had a one song called Back in Effect. The sampler, the sample was only like 3 seconds. So it was Act in Effect. Everybody asked me about Act in Effect back in the day. So, yo, what's happened to Act in Effect? They didn't know it was supposed to be Back in Effect. They thought it was I was cutting it up, cutting my voice up.
Wow. Huh.
I had to add the B. I had to add literally the B syllable, the B sound.
Nice.
But yeah, man. Yeah, just born and raised, man. My pops was always into music. Where I was from, a little small town called Hosky, North Carolina, there was no way in the world, for me to have been in the studio and friends with some of the people I grew up idolizing. Still to this day, is very, very hard to believe because, from Hosky, North Carolina, we had no access to the TV. Was our access to people that we idolized. Period. Not shows. No, nobody was coming to Hosky, North Carolina. Nobody. We might have closest thing we were maybe Raleigh or Virginia or something like that, but we wasn't gonna get nobody coming out there to do that. Actually, Jam Master Jay's people are from there though. They from there area. Windsor, Williamson area, Hosky, all of that. So, it was always a big deal because he would come home. It was always a big deal whenever Jam Master Jay would come home. But you're trying to get as close as you could to his grandma's house, so you could see them cats, but yeah, man, that's it.
So what was that? What was like during your early stages? Like, what was to you sort of like who was for you an artist that you would sort of not, I wouldn't say, well, try to mimic to a certain degree or look up to when it came to producing? Like I know styles change over time, and I know as kids we're impressionable, so we tend to look at people or people in front that are in a different space and try to imagine creating music like those individuals. Who was it for you specifically?
I'm gonna be honest. Early on, Curtis Blow, that was one of the first records that we had. The 8 Million Stories in a Naked City, and to know he produced Fat Boys, their melodies, the melodic flow they had was really, really dope. And Marky D came up to be one of another favorite producer of mine who slept on when he was with I call him the Mark. Mark was Mark Rooney and Mark Morales. They produced like Real Love is one of their records. So you know what I mean? So they was like, dude, Marky was dope. He was a dope, and Fat Boys was dope MCs, bro. They was dope.
Yeah.
Cool Rock and Marky. Marky was dope MCs, and Marky D's album was crazy. But yeah, those people, Curtis, I got to say number one because Curtis Blow, that was one of the first records that I.
That's heard. Early.
Yeah, and that 8 Million Stories in the Naked City, it was the melodies in that and what he was saying and what he was doing was real dope. So that kind of, once I got tuned into the production aspect of it, then it became, everybody who was dope, man. Prince Paul was a dope producer, man. You mentioned Grave Diggers. I think Paul might have done Grave Diggers or something. Of course, the Marleys, man. The Marleys, Pete's, Maine, Lord Finesse.
Right.
All the guys, man, like the guys at that time. Everybody was doing. I just seen Lord Finesse and what's my boy, man?
De La Soul.
Yeah, everybody was a Gene Brown had a beat battle out here, and then man, he had, oh my God, what's my man? Large Pro.
Large Professor. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's the heyday, man. That's early 80s into early 90s, man.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved everything about that era. Still my favorite era. 90s music. You can't really beat that. 90s,
yeah.
Late 80s, 90s. It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. My others, unless you talk about 70s R&B. 70s R&B, forget about it.
Yeah, don't get Ron started. We know all about Ron. Ron would go on for days with R&B.
That era molded everything that came after this. Puppy wouldn't have had nothing to sample if you don't get that era.
Yeah.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Puffy
You
and,
know,
and a bunch of others, but definitely you're right.
Yeah.
But I love, man. I love. Speaking of Puffy, the Hitmen and Untouchables at that time. You know, Eddie F.
Cool.
Crew and Puffy. Man, they got us through the '90s, man. They gave us the soundtrack for the fly, being
Yeah.
fly and flashy and the R&B, everything,
Yeah.
man. Dave Hall, Keith Carnegie, I mean, so many, man. You know, what I mean, just everybody. Amen, Ra. Them guys was.
Even Mr. Rat Face himself, Stevie B. I mean
Oh,
Stevie B. Stevie J.
listen,
Stevie
man.
J.
Stevie B.
Shout out to the hit. Shout out
Yeah.
to
Well, I tell you, you're an astute student of the game, right? Like you're well versed. You really studied, you know, the producers back in the day. And so, who are some of your favorites today? Like, who are some of the folks that you like you listen to that are current, that are like, you know, that are like pushing the needle forward, you know, in your eyes?
I still like the old heads, man. I still think the old heads is writing policy. I love what Tim and Pharrell,
Hmm.
Swizz, um, you know, all of them guys push the needle. Of the newer guys, man, you know, I gotta shout out. You know, I'm gonna tell you why I like Ninth, and that's the homie. Ninth has
Ninth Wonder.
yeah. Ninth has his lane, and he's been very uh
Consistent for sure.
consistent in that lane. Like Ninth isn't somebody that you're gonna say like if you go for a ninth record, you'll get a ninth. You know what you're gonna get a ninth record. You're not gonna get a record that you say, oh, there ain't no ninth produced that. You're gonna know, and that's having a signature sound. Today is never something that I was into, but I realized that that can be a handicap in some type of ways because you can get work, but you never really have something like I do 10 records and it might be 10 different sounds and nobody will know that's a Blayz record or anything like that. But
Right.
um, I do like the people. I do like being able to turn something on and know it's a for real. When I hear them drums, I know,
Hmm.
or Tim, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I also love when they push the needle and I end up, oh, I ain't know, but okay, I hear that, man. Okay, yeah, I hear it, you know. So
Right.
Right.
yeah, and yeah, that like those guys are still my favorite. I like Mustard.
Mm.
Mustard is doing something. Hit Boy is I love what Hit Boy is doing
With
with
Nas right now, right?
Nas right now, man. Love what Hit Boy is doing with Nas. I wouldn't have put him up there as far as production. For me, as one of my favorite guys until I seen what I think what him and Nas is doing is definitely epic for the time. It's really dope. I like the trendsetters, man. I like to see it move. R. Kelly is one of my favorite producers. Got to give
Right.
it up to people that cross over and do whatever. Sad that his legacy would be always tainted by
Oh yeah.
what he's done, man. But you know, come on, man. You gotta get that man his props when it comes to what he can do behind the boards.
Yeah, if you can kind of separate the man from the music, uh, yeah, his track record is phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
and he's like the birth of a lot of other sounds that have come after him.
Exactly,
Yeah, so
exactly. But you know, shoot, Jazzy Jeff's whole crew, you know, all of that came from over there. Ivan and you guys, man, and you know, we got Jeff too. Jeff is dope. Jeff is really dope.
Mm.
Jeff's one of those guys who definitely is underrated. I mean, I
Oh
think
my,
more and more people they're trying to big him up more to let people understand who Jazzy Jeff really is. They just
man,
kind of see him
Right.
behind Will Smith,
that
and all that stuff.
chasing
Way more to
goosebumps.
Jazzy Jeff than that.
Man, listen, that chasing goosebumps, him, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
Hmm.
That platform that they got doing that is phenomenal. I love Jeff. I love Jeff. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's so many. I think I'm just a student of dope music. Everybody always asks the same thing, like, you know, um, I I don't have to be a part of. I'm not a part of making sure people know who I am. I want to be a part of a great record. And
Right.
sometimes understand that takes more than myself. I don't have to be the person on that. I got bass players. I bring in horn players. I bring in anybody. If I don't feel like my drums is good, I got a 20-year-old son, and when it comes to that trap, he's a trap god in that. So if I want some trap drums, I'm gonna shoot him. And even though I hate that he putting connecting dots instead of really playing, I mean his ear for it is retarded.
Right.
So I don't. I want to hear a great record. I want to be a part of a great record. I don't necessarily got to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I got a great question for you, but before I give you this question, I wanted to know, because a lot of folks do comparisons, and we're talking about, like, with the emergence of the sort of battles that Swiss and was it Dre that put together the battles.
Oh, Swiss and Timberland.
Swiss and Timberland, sorry.
Right.
That they put together the battles. What was it called? I don't want to not
versus
the versus battles, right?
Versus,
if I were to put Jermaine Dupri up against Kanye West, who would you lean towards catalog wise?
The reason that I would say Jermaine is the underdog for this reason, because well, Kanye can too, but
it's tough, right? When you start thinking about the catalog, right?
It's because this is the same thing it's the same scenario with Puff and Jermaine. And Jermaine has said it. Jermaine goes in the studio by himself. He comes out with a hit.
Right.
Nobody else.
Right.
Puff goes in the studio by himself. He cannot do that.
Right.
Period. He knows a lot of people that can do it. Hands
Right.
are tied to a whole lot of them. I mean, Bad Boy wrote policy for us.
Right.
But when it comes to
you feel the same way about Kanye? You don't believe that Kanye sits in the lab?
But Kanye's never wrote to me. I don't at least I don't know. Kanye's never wrote. He's never been consistent for chopping R&B songs that weren't his. I mean, what he's doing with
that's true.
What he and writing them too. Now I ain't talking, because what he doing with what Kanye did with what's that girl he's only female, sounded good.
It's a good music.
Popular too, yeah. Very popular.
You talking about the the one who
basketball player.
The one who's married to the one who's married to the one who's married to well, they're split right now.
Keisha Cole. Oh no,
Iman Shumper's wife.
Man, how are you forgetting her name?
How am I gonna go blank on this, man? No. I forgot her.
Tiana Taylor.
Tiana Taylor, yes.
Love what he did.
Look at John. Okay, John.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know, but I know.
Right. Love what he did with that, but he didn't write those records. Jermaine Dupri is
right.
He's talking about single-handedly, when it comes to Crisscross, when it comes to when it comes to a lot of people. He had Mariah Carey hit.
Jagged Edge, all of them.
But you know what I'm saying? He's now don't take nothing from the Twins, because the Twins, they powerhouses too with that pen.
Right.
But
right.
Jagged. But man, I'm definitely a Jermaine Dupri guy.
Yeah. I would think I think I would lean Jermaine Dupri also, just because of his versatility. But the more I look into like Kanye's catalog, like that is true. What Nick 100, like he did work with Keisha Cole, and I thought some of that music was like some of her best stuff, that she's done to date. But again, like it's a toss up until you hear the music played side by side. That's why I feel like it's like, because they got bangers, like they got.
He didn't give a. He had some. Did he have a number one with Keisha? Did he have one of them? His won't that one. Them Keisha ones he had with Keisha was cool, but Jermaine had them slappers. Jermaine had
the ones.
He had the ones, the number ones with the I mean, come on, Usher, man.
Right. Yeah.
Come
Usher.
on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So
Come
Did
on, man.
Kanye work with
Get out of
Beyonce
here. Yeah. Huh?
on her one of her?
Yeah, but he was,
He
you know,
was mixing.
yeah, you make your contribution to be. She does what she want to do. That she don't really. She
Right.
not a lot of people be follows has to follow their lead. You know, it takes a
Mhm.
different kind of producer to be. And I ain't saying Kanye isn't this guy, but I'm telling
Yeah.
you, when these artists who are at the helm can come in and say, listen, I'm gonna do what you say.
Right.
Whatever you tell me to do, however you want me to do it, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what you say. And Jermaine has been one of those guys, man. So
yeah, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I did want to say this because I've learned a lot of this too over the last year or so. And I understand where you're going because remember, guys, this is Mike Blayz, who's a producer, right? So he's coming at it from a producer standpoint, and they, looking at it through different lenses and understanding different things that he respects or sees, and he says, this is upper echelon. Like you got to look at it differently, not just from us as fans listening to the music. It's different. So, for example, with Kanye is definitely has some hits for hip hop. And he's got some R&B hits too.
He's got some bangers.
He did have one
joints.
of Keisha Cole's better songs, right?
yeah.
Now, the difference though, to what Blayz is saying, is Kanye goes in and he lays the track, but he don't write. And people write
And
for him,
I'm
as a matter
I'm
of
not
fact, for
saying
his
he
own
didn't,
stuff.
and he may have written for some of them or whatever, but his R&B.
He comes up with concepts. He's
not even close to Jermaine. It's not even a question. Anybody debating that just really doesn't know what's really going on.
And I just wanted to say the reason why I brought it up, Mike, is because I learned more. Because in the past, I thought that Jermaine's pen game was pretty dope, but what I did not know, I took credit away from Jermaine over the years, and then it's been restored back to Jermaine because what I didn't know is other people that I was giving credit for writing a lot of the stuff behind Jermaine, like Brian Michael Cox and Jonte Austin, and when you
they
actually
came out
listen
and
to
said,
them talk, they've come out and said, no,
that was
it
Jermaine.
was
Yeah.
Jermaine. So that's surprising to me. I didn't know Jermaine's pen game was like that.
Yeah,
He
birthed a lot of he birthed a lot of them guys, man, with being able to give them platforms. This game has a lot of people behind. Jonte is so dope, a writer behind it. You've seen vocal production. You got Charles Taylor. I mean, it's a whole lot of dope people behind some really great records. But consistently, these guys that just consistently go on. And so, I mean, and Maine just had he just popped up this year with Ari got a number one with him, ain't
Ari Fletcher. I mean, Ari Fletcher, right?
Ari Lennox. No,
Ari Lennox. Why am I saying Ari Fletcher? Bugging.
Yeah, because I think Ari Fletcher won, but Ari Lennox with Pressure, Jermaine was and listen, Lil Jon,
he's got some joints. He got some joints.
Yeah, Lil Jon got some joints too. They got that.
They also just got a different sound too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he just came with a whole new sound.
The R&B Usher record.
Right.
Yeah, he just did he did that one of the newest Usher records. I was surprised that was John.
Yeah, he's versatile like that too. Man. He's versatile. I like versatility. Like I said, I understand getting in the game now how important it is to have a sound, but it's sort of like a fad. To me, when you got a sound, when nobody wants that sound, where are you going to be? It's really, really dope when there is always a need for that sound. But sometimes when there is not necessarily a need, nobody's looking for that, are you able to still be able to, stay in the game?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I always like those ones that can, man. I think hands down one of the coldest is Warren Campbell, man. Warren Campbell. Man. You know what I'm saying? As far as rap, and he played all the best records we love from Death Row. Nobody knows that. That was the guy you were listening to when you listening to to all of them sounds that
sound
with that Dre put them hard drums behind. and that'll go on and do what I want to be down from Brandy
Brandy.
and all of that to
Brandy, yeah.
his wife and them. Man, come on, man. That
Yeah.
guy's he's the guy. He's the guy, and a real
So-
musician.
Quick question. Have you had a chance to actually produce for any songs or artists that we might know?
Yeah, I work with a lot of people. I haven't had any. I produced on several records that got some great recognition, but I've worked with like a lot of. I worked with Kane a lot. I did a lot of keyboard work with Kane, and I got records with Kane that never really materialized anything. I also worked with we were my partner of mine, popular rapper. I mean popular producer in North Carolina, J Manifest. Through him, we did we did a state property joint. That was Beans, Freeway, and Young Chris. That was real dope.
Chris Anif,
Yeah. Chris was, it's arguably, they still argue right now if Jay-Z didn't steal Chris Styles. So, that's a that's
the argument.
right. Yeah. That's an age-old joint. Man, who else, man? I've worked with so many dope people. Sharifa is one of my favorites. So to me, if DTP had known
Sharifa.
If DTP had known what to do with Sharifa, Keisha Cole might have had a real problem.
Yeah, Sharifa had talent. Sharifa had talent.
She was a monster. Sharifa was a monster. That's the only two. Raheem Devon. Raheem Devon was one of his last singles.
Mr. Customer himself.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we wrote on the last album. It was the one's called Marvin Used to Say. There's a video out for it. So, so worked with Raheem. Just seen him. He just came here and did a show. A lot of people, man. A lot of greats. Unfortunately, it's still some yet release joints. I do want to. My bucket list is to have a hit with one of my idols, with one of the one of the guys I look to. That's one of the things I really want to do. I want to have something that somebody can go and look up with one of the greats, and and know that I did that. So
nice.
Hopefully these placements will materialize over the next few next little while, and see some big points put on the board.
Yeah, I mean, we got to put it out there in the world, right? See it come to fruition.
Listen, I'm waiting for that big rain because them seeds been planted, brother. All up and down the industry. So they've been planted. So I'm just good.
So here's the question that I was gonna go to, seeing that you was talking about your son really all involved in the trap music, but you also you pinpointed a thing for me where you said he's not necessarily playing the keys or anything like that, but he's great at manipulating the sounds and putting the dots together to make the sounds do what they do. And so how do you feel about the transition of making music going from more of an analog style to more of a digital style that you see today? Because there are a ton of apps, that are out there now, where back in the day you needed the machine, you needed the drum machine, you needed an Akai or some sort of keyboard, a sampler. Now everything is into the whole digital realm. How do you feel about that? And do you lose the sound when you go fully digital?
I just hate that it is breeded to me that laziness, in the creative process. You know what I'm saying? Like, perfect example, like this, and this is my personal opinion. I don't think you should be able to use Serato until you did that crate, till you lifted them crates, and you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like Kid Capri, Scratch, all the DJs, they deserve Serato. They deserve Serato. My man, Big Daddy Kane's DJ Skaz. I've been a roadie. I remember them tubs and being able to, and the skill you used to have. Like Serato, to me, is for them guys.
Right.
For these new cats coming up that don't know what the culture means, and what the real culture and what real that's just my opinion. Same with production.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you can do my son's first placement. He made a beat on his phone.
Right.
Just
Wow.
made it on his phone. I mean,
Right.
you know, just I'm not mad at it. I'm
Do
not
you
mad
recall what app he was using? Because there are so many new apps that are
I want
just
to say
music.
I want to say GarageBand, but I'm not.
Yeah.
No. Oh, what? No, it was whatever the PlayStation. No PlayStation. He did do beats on PlayStation, but yeah, it was GarageBand.
GarageBand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
GarageBand on his phone.
Yeah. Because
But
I remember when I first started hearing about the transition, it was Fruity Loops was like one of the major
oh yeah,
ones, you know.
but now Fruity Loops, you can record with Fruity Loops, and
Yeah,
that's my
yeah,
son's thing. You know, I'm
yeah.
not gonna front, man. I had big problems with I was where you ever see that joint where Kanye and Blayz, just Blayz, start talking about how they had a problem with how Nike was how Jay-Z was giving Nike so many props.
Yeah. No, I'm not
I think
familiar.
I saw. I heard a little bit about it. I
Yeah,
didn't see it though.
They was that was kind of how I was feeling. You know, it's you got this little Atari computer and you threw a little sample together and you know you did the little 1-2 or whatever and you got I'm a Just Blayz and I'm out here got drummers and I'm doing all this work and got these people on it and this is amazing to you. Like,
Mm,
come on, bro. You know, but I get it though. You know, I get it. Because the sound is what I have to learn is it's all a part of a process.
right,
It's all as long as the culture gets uplifted and great music is made. Sometimes the vehicle is it may not be as I want it, but I just got to stay true to what I do. I didn't want to go to Pro Tools. I wasn't going to Pro Tools.
right, right.
I remember if it hadn't been for DJ Scaz, I wouldn't have went to Pro Tools. I would have stayed with my DA88s, especially when I seen the computers crashing and people losing their whole life behind that.
The whole hard drives, right?
Nah, man, I'm good. Give me my DA88, give me my little tapes and load them joints up. Let me get out my session. Let me get my session.
Yeah, yeah.
But now it's it's right there. But I could never do the I just could never do the the Fruity Loop. I got some partners, producer friends. Man, I'm telling you, you need to learn that Fruity Loops. I'm telling you, bro,
Yeah,
it's easy. It's gonna make your life easy. I
right.
don't know how I want it to be easier.
Because you could pump out like 3 or 4 joints in like in repetition off of like a mere sample. You know what I mean? And it's like it makes the work not only easier but quicker to you start to make more, right? But it doesn't make it better. It just it's kind of like the car manufacturing situation where you start the cars, everything is pieced by an engineer, put together by a mechanic that is specific to that car. But as they start to mass produce it all, everything just becomes watered down. But then you get a lot more out, right? And so that's sort of what I've seen over
Yeah,
the digital. And then it goes back to like artists, right? Artists are fickle. They're fickle individuals, right? They like what they like, and until you sit with them and really get an understanding of like what they enjoy working on, because basically it's like their scratch pad, right? Like it's the sound of their scratch pad. Like, oh, am I good with this RPM? Like I like writing it to this style, this cadence. You know what I mean? And that is really where a lot of producers lose themselves because they're like, no, you don't like this. Like this is fire. I got 4 other people who enjoy this, and you're not vibing with this. And it's like, nah, every artist, if you in the hip hop or even a singer, you have a cadence to what you enjoy putting your work on.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's why I like producers who can sit with an artist and just cater to that artist. You know what I mean? Like cater to the artist. You know, because it heightens the work for that artist, right? Like the artist gets to hear something that's within their tone or within their range that they know they could kill. It just takes their work to another level. Like Timberland and Justin Timberlake, like that
Right.
connection that they have is magical
man,
and it's
Right.
undeniable.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that goes from two producers too.
Right,
Justin dope ass producer too.
right.
So and that's two great minds coming together. But Tim is another man. He had such an ear for, man. Shoot, when you talk about the Scott Storches, the Danger Hands, the everybody that came from under his tent, Devontae, Jesus Christ, you know, he and that to me is, I feel like that's more important in a lot of times. I mean, perfect example. I never forget, I was playing beats for Kane one day, and I had this thing I thought was a slapper, and I mean, I'm bobbing to it. He was like, "Yo, you mind if I'm gonna try something?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Right.
sure. Go ahead, man. It's Big Daddy Kane. What are you talking about?" Of course.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And he changes the snare. Just he said he loaded up a snare in the MPC and changed that snare to what I had, like a snare off the keyboard or something like that. But when he put that knock, that slapper on that beat,
right,
it changed the whole dynamic of it. It literally, just that one sound changed the whole beat. It was a dope beat, and that was a banger from just that snare. People that know how to do that. I remember back in the day when used to hear Daz and a lot of the producers talk about how they did a lot of the beats on the Death Row, you know, at Death Row that Dre took the credit for, and all this, that, and the third. My thing is, where is the caliber of music that rises up to the Chronic post Dre? Where is that at? If you did those beats the way you did them, where is that? Where did you rise to that occasion, that level after Drake?
Right, and then lose it. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of people who just know what needs to go with what. Producers are way more important than beat makers. You can find anybody to do this, to crack them. You know what I'm saying? But that person that knows what to do, how to do it, how to make it better. I always tell artists, difference between me and a lot of artists is most producers, they can tell you that it ain't right, but they can't tell you how to make it better.
Right.
So, you know, they know that it's right or not right, but they don't know how to tell you to make it better.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Those guys are the ones that.
And I was just gonna say, to John's point, like, if you can find that type of, I see what, you know, I like it too, actually. If you can find it, if you can cultivate, like, if you can get that nice mix, because some of the best albums ever created are albums where you have a singular producer, or maybe just a duo of producers rather than a bunch of different producers. But then again, it all depends on you. It's like lightning in a bottle. Sometimes you just got to get, if you can come up with the concept of an album and get the vibe going, and people can lock into the vibe, you get something that's perfection. Like Nas Illmatic, tons of different producers on there, all coming together to make a beautiful vibe. You know what I mean? Like, it's rare to get all those different people to, but it depends. Like, even like what Blayz was mentioning, the hit makers, that's a bunch of different guys, but they knew the plan for how to cultivate a sound, and they created a whole sound for the 90s. Like, it's certain things like that. Like, yeah, it depends. But it's definitely, you know,
Hitman, and like I said, the Untouchables. That was
right.
They guys, man, they were my motivation back then. They were like literally the motivation. You know, that sound and those artists. You know, they gave us some really, really dope soundtracks to move about. You know, the rock too, but when they club records, from the bedrooms to the clubs, they had it on lock. Like, they had a couple of other cats right there, but them guys right there for a long time, Bad Boy and, you know, Uptown and all them for a minute. Sheesh. I mean,
well, you know, I've been meaning to ask you this question since I knew you were coming on the show. How is it working with our guy J-Boogie? You know, the combination of you two getting together, being in the studio, I know you've worked on a multitude of different songs. How's that whole thing been?
Man, Boogie has always been like, from the start. He's always, you know, he's what I call it, he New York to the heart. So, you know, when he came, when I met him early on, I mean, he just had that New York flow, and I was a fan. So, you know, we just, when it came to the studio, like I said, we met at Big Daddy Kane's producer's house, Scaz, and Skaz is my brother, so we just developed our own relationship, man. And I just had those, he liked what he heard, and we just kept doing beats. I make it's easy for me to do whatever. So he he has Boogie already has what he want to do, or the feeling that he want to do. That's just one thing we don't really argue about it sometimes, but sometimes I joke about him. I like, man, you ain't gonna like that, or you ain't gonna do this, you ain't gonna, or I already know what to do. You ain't gotta, because once he's set on the vibe he wants, like I might try to play Jedi mind tricks with him and give him a beat that does almost the same, and it might have one thing out of place. Yo, you know that part right there. You got that joint going right there. What happened with that? That sound right there. That's different, right? That's different. I'm like, man, but that's just how intricate his is for the sound that he want to do. You know what I'm saying? And when he writing, like a lot of time when he writing on something, I might send him a beat and he'll be like, oh, I ain't right to that part. I wrote to that others. That's what I wrote to right there. And he can't record it, but he'll say, I'm gonna just record that and you do your thing after I finish. Record, do whatever. But he's always had the idea, man. He come to me with the ideas and the vibes, and sometimes he'll even give me beats to listen to. Like I want to do something like this, but he already has his concepts in mind or whatever. So it's my job when it comes to Boogie just to execute the concepts that he already has. I might need a singer, might need whatever it takes to execute that concept the best way. That's my job. He'll always ask my opinion. It ain't like, but I don't have to do a lot of producing him in a sense because he already has what he wants to do, and he'll be in that zone. Sometimes you got to let the artist, no matter how whack you think it is, or how you might think they can do it better. Sometimes you have to let them just get it out. They need to be able to flush that creative toilet for a minute, and then so they can hear it and see what it sounds like. But until it gets out, they're hardly ever open, being receptive to what you're telling them to do because they haven't heard what they want to do yet. They haven't heard it, they haven't heard back what they really want to do. That's important in being an engineer and a producer. You gotta let the artist sometimes get it, even though man, this is terrible. You gotta let them get it out. You gotta let them get it all the way out. And once they get it out, sometimes they realize it ain't what they thought it was gonna be, or it may be. But once you gotta let them get it out. Right. So like I said, we continue to do. I think the thing that changed with Boogie and I is once he got locked in on the Knicks, he had a theme and he knew exactly what he was going to do. And he's so knowledgeable about that sports shit. I can't, like, he's Knicks and sports in general.
Mm-hmm.
I'm and all the even in his, if you listen to his music, he's got things that only fans would know when he raps. We got a lot of people that might be that might hate on the raps. They might, he ain't really. But if you're a Knicks fan and some of them raps, they listen.
He's hidden.
He talking about the time that. Oh, I remember that. I mean, he goes back that far with it. That's what's dope about him, and he deserves. I told him, bro, he deserves to be a part of the Knicks franchise. Trust me, he deserves. He deserves.
You ain't lying. The amount of work he puts in, you ain't lying.
Man, you know what I'm saying? We got a project right now that we devoting to, a whole album, a whole project. He's the only one to do that, So
I know he keeps telling us, man. He said, "I'm just waiting for the right time. Gotta do some things. When some things get right, y'all be the first to know about it."
Yeah. He got him. He ready. He called me every day. Man, I'm really about the ladies. I'm ready. When I gotta get into it. He already got what he wants.
You do a great impression of J-Boogie, by the way.
I've been around him for 20 plus years.
Yeah, Ron, that sounds like a great segue to some of this music that what I'm saying, that our guy Mike Blayz has put together. You want to share some for the folks who are on right now?
I think I want to play something real quick for y'all. Now this is instrumental, so we'll play a little bit more of it, maybe about 50 seconds. But Mike may not know, but the fans, the people who watch, they know, like, this channel's been dealing with some demonetization stuff because of YouTube and them cracking down on what we can and cannot play. So I'm like, we used to play whole songs here, but now I gotta chop it up a little bit. It is what it is. But yeah, man, definitely want to get into this joint, and then we could talk about it real quick. About the whole process of like how you put it together, how it came to light. But I just want to say, like, once again, man, I really enjoy having you here. This is the type of stuff that I look forward to. You know what I mean? Like, I'm big in music. I love music. I love R&B music more importantly than hip hop. But I also like hip hop. But I especially love production. Like, I always thought one day in life I was going to be a producer, but then I realized I don't have the money, I don't have the equipment, I don't have the knowledge. I'm not that good at producing. So yeah, it didn't happen. But the point is, I always thought.
Right.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like I said, I really appreciate having you here. And this is like one of the more exciting shows for me because I love dealing with the conversations about artists and all this stuff. So all right, let's play this joint. This is called More Hunger, guys, by Mike Blayz. All right, let's check it out. Yeah, just when you start, it's getting even better. I'm like, oh, damn it. Yeah, man. But that's More Hunger by Mike Blayz, man. I like that. I like that joint.
I like that one.
Yeah, man. So how did this whole song come about? Like, how did you come together with the concept of making that beat?
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy is I think that's what I really wasn't thinking when I was thinking Boogie. You should have sent just beat just something because what I did was because I wanted him to be intertwined, and I sent a lot of records that we have done or we working on too. So those beats. But just an idea of what I think I started with a sample. I was going through this my contact and it's a program I use called Glide, and I found that. Then I was like, you know what? So I started with that, and then I was like, let's keep it in the middle where if somebody wanted to sing on it, we could, or rap on it, we could. So I kept the drums kind of hard or whatever, and it was just I actually live bass. You know what I'm saying? I know I want to have live bass. I'm actually playing everything on there, but I know I want to have eventually I'll put guitars on there and just make it a little bigger. But the process for me is simple. It's just I don't ever really have I might like a sound. I might start with a drum loop. It never is I don't ever have a direct process of what I like to do. I usually like to start with a melody, like a keyboard melody. So everything usually start for me like with the pianos. I'll start with my melody with pianos and then switch the piano sounds out. But once I got my melody down, then I can lay my drums and get the feel for what I want to do, and then just go from there. I'm a post-production producer as well. So in other words, what the person is gonna rap or sing to is probably not gonna be what the finished product is gonna be, because the vocals are gonna make me feel something different, and I'm gonna want to add to after that. So
Gotcha.
When the song is dope from the gate, that's what you go for. When they pick the beat because of what it sounds like now, you already in your mind, you already know, oh, you about to love it when spit something dope on that and let me really, really get busy. So,
Wow. I mean, tell you, man, it's a fire track. I really like it, and I like just the idea, just listening to how you put it together and your concept and what you're thinking, and the fact that post production is pretty dope too, because that's a different. It's one thing to produce, and then it's another thing to do post production, because then you're hearing the sound, you're hearing what it, and then it's giving you, okay, this is what it's missing, this is what I need, this is like it's a talent, man. It's not, listen, not
No, it's
easy.
all talent.
Believe me,
No,
for
that's
someone who's always wanted to get into it, that ain't easy.
Right.
there's an art to all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
yeah, definitely.
then also you take it a step further, because then you have to, mix it down. You know what I mean? And you have to have an ear for just mixing in general. You
Oh
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then
It's
if
some, it's some
it's a lot of complexity to all of the producing and music and what goes behind the scenes, that not everybody has an idea or has actually seen it from start to finish. Um,
being an
I've been
engineer,
lucky enough to see it.
being an engineer, being a
Mm.
producer and an engineer, I literally have taken a song from the mind to you know to the radio. So
Hmm.
alone, so it's
Right.
kind of like, but having those engineers that really mix. The engineer is the most important piece to the puzzle, because that is the last person that is gonna have his hands on your music before the world gets it. Literally,
Hmm.
like the engineer, the person that is the last person is gonna have his hands on your music before you present it to get the critique from the most important audience, and that's everyone else. So
Right.
it's
Right.
important to have a dope engineer, because as a producer, or as an artist, like, you're gonna get the blame for whatever is wrong. Nobody's gonna get that disclaimer that you went in the studio and the engineer sucked. People that are in the music business, they know that it was terribly engineered, but
Hmm.
the consumers aren't gonna know that. They just gonna know that this person's song isn't doesn't sound right.
Right.
So it's those things are very important. Some engineers, they end up getting producer credit on records of how they transform beats
The
into
sound. Right.
yeah, yeah. So I've been there too.
I noticed that
Yeah.
early, like with the early Wu Tang stuff, right? The early Wu Tang stuff, it was super raw. That like you would hear it, and and like a lot of it came out of like mixtapes, and you would hear it, and you'd be like, wow, like it's a different, more gritty sound, but you could see where the mix is missing, and then a lot of that stuff came out again, like at a later time, and it was like, whoa, it was that, like it was engineered, it was mixed, it was trying to, with that extra punch,
Right.
and it does the music that much more justice to, the sound.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, because I was gonna say the one thing I hear more than I've ever heard in my life over the past few years when it comes to music is so many songs that I've heard, and people are trying to review them or critique them, and they're like, "Oh, it sounds pretty good. Like the bars are pretty good. I like the melody and all, but it's not mixed well." I
Hmm.
can't tell you how many times I hear that, and I can hear it myself. I'm not perfect at with an ear,
Yeah.
but like that's like one of the biggest things, and I think it's because the music, the the attention to detail is not as high as it used to be, because people's
Hmm.
ears, like, people aren't demanding quality music the way you used to hear in the past. So they're just flooding us with all types of different things, because people they just want the vibe. I just want to dance.
Right.
It just has to have a
Right.
pumping beat. They're not caring so much about the true essence of the music and putting
Hmm.
together, a track, not an album, track by track. Like, it's about
Right.
each track,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Right.
getting the best
It's
sound
the
out of that
listening.
track.
It's the listening formats, man. That's basically bottom line, because but record label budgets mixing budgets aren't even, they've been cut tremendously, because
Oh yeah.
people are listening through headphones now. They listen through
Yeah.
computer speakers and iPod pads and all of, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? They're not listening to music, it's not important anymore. I was so disheartened when it was a major album that came out, and one of the engineers, one of my main guy, Melvin Jacobs, he's in the booth. He used to be working Bad Boy. That's my brother. I said, "Yo, does this sound right to you?" And he was just like, "Well, my man, engineered on that." And he called him up, and he's like, "Oh nah, man, that ain't even, that's mixed, but it ain't, we ain't." Ain't no budget for mixing no more. We just put that out. You know what I'm saying? That ain't.
Wow.
So and I was like, come on, man, you can't like not at that high in the game. Like I don't ever want to be the one because I don't care if we're on the radio together. You put your blinkety blink mix after my slapper, it ain't gonna be pretty. I wanna hear that I wanna give the music the the intricacies it needs to have for the consumer to just to even get another vibe. You get that vibe of that reminiscent vibe of when music was really music and it was really dope and people really cared about what it sounded like. There's so many. I mean, we could get into conspiracy theories now, but there's so many agendas being pushed with our music and things that don't happen. What I call across the tracks, and people know what I'm talking about. Like you don't see that type of disregard across the tracks. They just do a file culture. You know what I'm saying? Like they are the culture and the integrity is preserved everywhere else, and we allow it. We allow it to be tainted by our culture. We do, and it's just like I just can't really buy into that. I'm grateful to see everybody. If you are making $1 off of the music of your craft, then bless. You know what I'm saying? God bless, and hopefully you can do something. Hopefully you'll do right by can make your money and make your money work for you to change the situation. But I just can't feed into the garbage. I can't, in no type of way.
And I think it's harder for like our generation too because we grew up on Berry Gordy music. Music produced by the greats. You know what I mean? Like people who really were like the Stevie Wonders of the world. We got it from that era, and so it was so refined, like that music and their engineering and their sounds and their ingenuity, like it was so refined that like I cannot not hear that, and I expect to hear that with new music, and if I don't hear it, then I'm like, yeah, that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not gonna give me the same feeling. Yeah,
we come from that different, like we're the last, and I'm not saying it's not
we hear it though
that way. Yeah, right. I think we're the last
generation to like come from that analog.
From that.
Maybe about 70,
so that's why it's different.
70, post 79, 80, it's kind of like it's almost rap. Maybe into maybe like mid 80s or whatever. But we don't. It's after that. It's just but it's the powers that be. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's what's being pushed. It's what's being allowed to give allowed to give an audience with these apps that we always own or whatever. I really respect Ryan Leslie with what everything he was trying to do back then, those years ago, was what he was trying to he knew was coming, and he was trying to solidify your own, crowd of people and find something that gives you the direct link to your people, to your consumers specifically, because that way you ain't got to worry about you being, nobody. You see the I don't know if y'all familiar with the lawsuit that Mr. Long from the Black Sheep he got against basically the companies, the streaming companies. He's like, no one negotiated our pay rate.
The deals for those.
No one sat to the table and said, oh, okay, for the use of my for my personal intellectual property on your platform, I agree to take pennies on pennies on pennies of the dollar. Nobody said that. Nobody negotiated that rate that you would be paid as an artist.
Yeah. And a lot of artists didn't get paid. You know what I mean? That's the crazy part. Like even
Snoop said a billion streams not equaling $1 million is crazy.
Right.
That's crazy. We've in this day and age, we have allowed millions of dollars selling 10 million CDs. Selling 1 million CDs was upwards of $10 million. 1 million streams ain't even 6 bands.
Right.
It ain't even $6,000.
But what's crazy is it all started from the era in which, the download of music became a thing. During the Green, I forget what they Green Wire or something like that, like the
Napster,
Napster, and like it all really began during that time, because like those sites were free at the time and people were downloading music for free, and they just changed their motto, you know what I mean, to more of a, okay, we'll go into the streaming service side of things, and now we're playing this music for everyone to get at a download, but we'll share it and we'll gain versus the artist gain. And there was no, I don't think the or the music industry or artists in general were privy to that knowledge that it was going to, just follow a trend, and it caught everybody by surprise, lawyers included. I mean, the one artist I remember was super on top of that was like Prince. Prince was like he was never going to fall for any of that. Like he was always lawyers on staff and retainer, made sure like all of his business was on point,
And
But,
even Michael Jackson, to a certain extent, at a certain point in his career, he started to kind of fight back with Sony and Tommy Mottola, and then that's when he started to see the snake stuff they were doing. So he's like, you know what, I'm gonna start buying. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna buy all of the Beatles.
These people are businessmen, man. These people were businessmen. You talking about the kind of businessmen, even that they don't get the credit, man. From James Brown to Ray Charles, Mike and Prince, they were some shrewd businessmen, and arguably their shrewdness contributed to their demise early on, so to some situations. So, but they were really shrewd businessmen, because you really have to be there. There's people who don't get paid for CD duplication.
Wow.
That signed a deal at a certain time in the 70s or early 70s. They don't get credit for CD duplication, because it wasn't a format that was included in their contract.
Right.
So because it wasn't out there. So now I think the lawyers are up on it now. They have this one line that says that has something to do with all the formats here and that may be created that makes
and
sure
in the universe.
Right, exactly. It makes sure
Right. For perpetuity.
Right.
Yeah. In the universe for perpetuity.
Right. Yeah. So
in perpetuity.
Right.
In perpetuity.
But you gotta have that, man, because it's this game, unfortunately, is to keep us uninformed as artists.
Right.
And it's so many ways. I will say that right now, you can't. I hate that. I believe that the internet has breeded a laziness. I definitely do. And but at the same time, there is no way that I can scoff at the value of being able to be right here, right now, in North Carolina, and fooling with the brothers. You know what I'm saying? In other places, like it's somebody that I can get my music to Canada. I can get my music all across the world because of the internet.
True.
I can get I can make my own audience now, and I have
you can reach so much more.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have the world at my fingertips, not just a region or a certain location. I have the entire world at my fingertips, and it's just really up to me to get them to to get the music to them so they can be able to witness what I have, and that's priceless. That's priceless.
Right.
So,
well, listen, man, I just gotta say that this interview has been fantastic. We covered so much. There's been so many musical gems in this. And if you're interested in music or music creation and production, some of the stuff that came out of this conversation with Mike Blayz, just talking about the music, where it's gone, where it is, where it was, and just the purity of it and the managing of sound has been fantastic. So I can't talk enough about how great this has been to chop it up with you. We're definitely, very happy to have you, Mike. And so before we get out of here, just wanted to, ask you real quick, like, what's next for Mike Blayz? What you got going on? What is there anything we can look forward to?
Man, of course, J-Boogie, we still trying to get J-Boogie into the Knicks fold. in the office, you know. So we're gonna keep doing those bangers. I'm in the studio, man. I'm working with some of everybody. You know, I'm just working. You know, I've never been. I like to. I'm not one of those ones to be like, oh, we don't talk about it. But yeah, I'm just working with everybody. It's too many. I'm working with everybody. I'm the Dre of local artists. You know, here where
Nice.
I'm at. You know, my local artist discography is
Now,
immaculate.
now that you're saying that, what is the vibes and see? I mean, we all know. I mean, anyone who follows hip hop understands what um what J. Cole is bringing to hip hop these
Oh
days, and
wow.
he's a local native. But what does the scene look like in in North Carolina and just in general, in your perspective? You know, you're talking about you working with a lot of young
Yeah.
artists.
Well,
What are
well,
you hearing?
well. The reality is the Southeast region is the is the deciding factor. This is what they call the testing ground. The Southeast region is the testing ground for the rest of the world because this is where your folks is from. Your mama, your grandma, your great grandma, whether you West Coast, East Coast, a lot of your roots are in the South. So that's why we don't have a sound. We got
Mm,
backpack here. We got West Coast vibes here. We got trap here. We got literally everything. You know, we got the baby. I mean, we got the baby on one side. Then we got J Cole on another side. So
right.
we literally have it all here because everybody. That's why they saying Carolina doesn't have a sound, but this is called the Southeast market. And from an industry standpoint, a lot of the records break here because if it wins in the Southeast region, it's pretty the test market for everywhere else. You know, Soldier Boy
Mm.
broke here. You know what I'm saying? When he came,
Right.
he got popular here in this part. So that's it's really an eclectic vibe, man. It literally is.
Nice.
It's every you will find a rapper for every kind of vibe that you want, you'll find it here.
That's
Every
what's up.
kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? You got literally, you know, even crunk music is here.
Right.
You know, so
That's
Mars Pit
dope.
Rap, you know, shout out to Juice Lord. The world's gonna know about him soon, you know. So he's one of my favorite guys, and he's got the Mosh Pit Rap sold up.
Wow. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever, before we go, did you ever think about doing like your own? I mean, since you've been in the game long enough, you've already built up a catalog of work with and cachet with different artists. Do you ever think about doing like your own little compilation album?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. My moniker is my handle is the Nod Father, you know, KNOD, the Nod Father. So,
Hmm.
you know, and that's I've got the volume just like the Godfather. I've got volumes of the Nod Father coming. Volume 1, volume 2, Nod Father 1, 2,
Oh,
3.
that's dope.
Yeah, man. So I got a lot of dope artists, some of the dopest artists, both mainstream and local on there, bridging that kind of gap. So you know, I'm piggybacking off of Jazzy Jeff and Eric Roberson with the chasing goosebumps, and I got something called the Audio Exodus. The Audio Exodus is basically
Mm.
where we take an artist, you know, all the dopest producers. An artist gets his utopia of song makers to make the best record. So you got songwriters, some of the dopest songwriters, the dopest producers, the dopest musicians, the videographers, everybody on deck for a weekend. It's only a weekend, and we're gonna give you all the magic that we got for that weekend. Do an EP, like a little 3-4 song EP, and get it popping. So anything that you want as a local artist, you know, you need writers, you need production, you need engineers, you need mixing, you need mastering. I got some of the dopest cats in the area. It's gonna coming together. So the Audio Exodus is coming soon. It's gonna be a stream live too. So that's
Oh, that's super
Wow.
dope.
That's
yeah,
That's
dope.
great.
No, and it's gonna be streamed live.
yep,
Oh, I might
yep,
tap
Yeah,
yep,
into
yeah.
that.
yep,
That's
yeah,
fire.
yeah,
Hey, I like that.
yeah, man.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, man. Once again, this has been a pleasure. I can't say enough of how great it's been to chop it up with you, Mike Blayz. This has been a long time coming, man. I'm happy that we finally got here, man.
Oh man, and I
J
appreciate it,
Boogie's been
brother.
talking about you forever, brother.
Hey man, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. That's my brother, man, and the world's gonna know who he is after a while. They already do, but they're gonna, know enough. And I appreciate the platform, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, man. Anything I can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We just got to
Yeah,
bring more artists on and more producers. So anyone that you know in North Carolina that you want to
Oh, for
share
sure.
our platform with, absolutely send them our way, and we'll definitely, you know, put them on as well. We also got to get that, put up that what J-Boogie put up there. We got to put together a video where y'all can come. We definitely got to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? Sounds like this thing that you're working on, if it's going to be live streamed, that might be it.
Yeah, man.
That might be it.
Listen, if I'm gonna tell you, if you know, Boogie just getting up on his, if he was up on his socials like he's supposed to, he needs to
call him out.
with the camera. He needs to be walking around with that camera too. You know, if he was doing that, through the roof, because the process, even his process, recording all of this stuff for the Knicks, all this stuff that we going through with the Knicks, him going everywhere, man. He should have a camera. You know, he's just now understanding how important that the visual age we live in is. You know what I'm saying? We all old schoolers, but like I tell him, I'm not trying to be an artist. You are. You're like, you can't. That's like clocking in. You gotta clock in, man. You gotta clock in.
It's hard for us because for a very long time, anyone who's over the age of 40, like we were used to taking photos of ourselves going through everyday life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You just did what you did, and you were known for around the parts that you were known in. Like you weren't documenting where you was and how you were rocking. You know what I mean? And so, like a lot of people be like, "Yo, you like sometimes I'll get like, oh, you used to run with these dudes." I'm like, yeah, but like no one documented it. Like I'm not. You know what I mean? That was actually frowned upon. You know what I'm saying?
That's his new age. I don't understand.
I don't
understand. You know what I'm saying?
We got to give J-Boogie a pass. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. But that's what I'm talking about. But
it's necessary.
Time, we gotta. You know, it ain't even about, you know, ain't all everyday footage, but man, like, you know, when he had them games, you know what I'm saying? People know we went to a game and we had him and my other man with the podcast. Y'all, I'm pretty sure, I just can't remember who he is. Boogie.
Hardwill.
No,
it was probably Chef Mayberry. Probably it was Worldwide L. Probably.
That sounds like what it was. He
every game he go to, Worldwide L usually be out there.
Oh yeah,
so it's probably him.
But these two guys, like, you would have thought they were part of the team. People stopping them, like, you know, taking pictures. J-Boogie and this the other way. So, you know, that's the kind of thing that organic. It's that organic movement that you just gotta have that. You just gotta have that camera on all the time when you're moving in those situations. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing that's gonna.
It's the new age.
You know, so that's the only thing that gotta happen. That's all.
Yeah, I told Ron to get his GoPro connected to his hat and just, you know.
If I had a camera tracking my every disappointment, that would have been great. Like the time that I went to the store and they told me Jay-Z just left. What?
or Fat Joe right around the corner.
Oh yeah, Fat Joe being down the street. Like what?
Right, the ultimate Knicks fan. We can't get a quick blurb. You know what I mean? Like no spot, no nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah, that would have been great. But anyway, I know it's getting late. I don't even know if y'all ate. Listen, I appreciate it. This conversation's been fantastic. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Replay gang. Man. Yeah, man. Oh, listen, I really want, like, when these things start dropping, man. You know, 1, 2, 3, whatever. Hit us up. We'll love to get you back on, and so you can promote.
Not only that,
and
even if you can't get on, we'll promote and put it out there for the.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, just in general.
Yeah, without question. Man, definitely a pleasure. And so once again, I just want to shout out our special guest, Mike Blayz, to follow him on social. It's just like the name Mike Blayz. It looks a little something like this on Instagram at Mike Blayz. Facebook's Mike Blayz. You know what I mean? So definitely, follow him and look at the journey, man, and see. It's a beautiful ride, man. So definitely salute to him. Salute to J-Boogie. Appreciate you. Going to continue to watch you guys make some more and more hits. I think we lost him, man. He said the show's over, folks.
He's good.
No, but he probably hit the button by accident. But either way, once again, it's been a pleasure having him. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Until he comes up.
And thank you guys for being here and rocking with us. Hold on. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. So anyway, it's once again, it's been a pleasure, guys. John.
Man, 2.5, man. We talked today. Anyway, it was a good one. It was a good one.
This is like a quarter of my show on Saturdays. Come on, man. Come on, John.
Yeah. I'm not used to it. Anyway, yo, for all of y'all tuning in, appreciate you. Much respect to all of y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.
There you go, man. We kept John up past his bedtime. Look at him, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. All right, guys. You know what I always say: tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still, Knicks fans, we'll be back again, whether it be on Thursday nights for the NBA wrap up at 8:30s. Saturdays for Know the Ledge at 11:30. Yours truly, or on Mondays with myself and John once again for SKF Weekly with Jose holding it down for us as well. We wrap up what's going on with the Knicks Mondays at 9 p.m. It's been a great show. Appreciate you guys, and have a great rest of your evening, man, because the night is over pretty much. We'll holler at you. We'll catch you on the next one, man. Now, once again, next week there won't be one, so happy Thanksgiving to all you guys. Enjoy, have a great time with your families, get some gobble, some ham, whatever you like, you know what I mean? Just enjoy yourselves.
God bless you all.
Yes, I couldn't have said it better. We out of here. Run that.